You and the princess stare at each other, both gasping for breath, equally exhausted. You probably won't make it out of here alive, but you can at least make sure that she won't make it out of here either. Excuse me? Do you think this is what I wanted to happen? I have a duty to state the facts of the situation, and honestly, it's a miracle anyone is still standing right now. Can you not feel all those ruptured organs bouncing around in there? If the princess doesn't do our friend in herself, internal bleeding is certain to finish the job. The two of you clash for the final time. You feel your ribs break as she delivers a heavy blow, but you push through the pain, falling forward and sinking your blade deep into the princess's heart.
Oh.
The two of you fall to the floor.
This was fun.
The princess gasps, her voice an unhealthy rasp as her lungs start to fill with blood.
You put up more of a fight than I thought you would. But I have to wonder, do you really think this is the end?
But you don't have time to worry over such things. Everything goes dark, and you die. You're on a path. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world. A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says.
Lying and cheating doesn't sound like her at all. Not that it matters. It's not like she can lie or cheat in the middle of a fight.
Are you sure about that? The point of my warning wasn't to start an argument over what circumstances the princess is capable of lying in. It was to give you some broadly applicable advice. The princess will do and say whatever she thinks it will take to get her out of there. So don't trust her. Ever. Are we clear?
Crystal, let's just get on with it already.
The cabin is tighter than its exterior would suggest. Its cold stone walls press in on you, as if trying to forcefully direct you towards your destination. The only furniture of note is a black iron altar with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. You take the blade from the altar. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a rough stone staircase, its walls pressing at your sides and tightening as you descend. The air seeping from below is heavy and oppressive, with an almost sulfuric odor to it. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. Her fierce voice carries up the stairs.
Is that another challenger? Finally! It's been ages since I've had a good fight.
This isn't what she sounded like last time. Her voice is a little deeper, almost threatening.
Good. Sounds like my kind of princess.
As much as I appreciate the enthusiasm, just make sure you don't let your bloodlust get to your head. You need to stay focused and keep your wits about you. Remember, you're here to slay the princess, not to have a good fight. As you descend the final step, the form of the princess comes into view. A large shackle leading from her wrist to the basement wall. Looks like she could rip those chains out of the wall without a second thought.
Oh, it's you again. I'd been hoping you'd find your way back here. Good to see that death doesn't stick for either of us. And you brought your little knife, too. Yes! I'm going to have fun breaking you into little pieces. You look exactly the same.
Alright, fine. If you're not going to address it, I will. What? You've already met the princess has already met you. The two of you killed each other. Did you think you'd be able to just openly talk about all that without me noticing? Maybe. You did seem to just gloss over the whole thing for a while. Of course I glossed over it. When a colleague says something insane, glossing over it is one of the best ways to stay focused and keep moving forward. Enough is enough. I believe you. And that's all the more reason to take this seriously. You don't know that whatever brought the two of you back to life isn't a fluke. And beyond that, do you know who doesn't remember anything that happened last time? Me. I don't remember. Are you okay? Of course I'm not okay. As far as we're all concerned, the fate of my world is still very much on the line. Not all of us have the luxury of jumping over to a parallel universe the second we die. You're joking, right? I'm just going to pretend that you're joking.
Yeah, you better be joking. We can't win unless you take this seriously.
Oh, I remember you all right. Best 3 minutes of my life. So, why don't we do it again?
See? She wants to fight us again. There's no reason for us to stand around talking.
What is there to unpack? I was dead and now I'm not, and the same goes for you. There. Unpacking done. Don't you get it? We've been given free rein to wail on each other. Forever.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And why not? You decided what to do with me quickly enough last time. Are you scared I'm going to kill you again? Maybe you're worried I'll put you down for good this time. If you want to talk, I guess I can talk. But you should come a little closer first.
Free her? You aren't. I don't know why I'm even bothering, to be honest. You know the stakes of the situation.
Who says I want to be free? I want the two of us to fight to the death. I want to feel your knife split my flesh, and I want to hear your bones snap beneath my fists. Is that really too much to ask?
Yeah, especially that last part.
Don't be such a coward.
I'm just being cautious. If it comes to violence, we can find a way to deal with her that doesn't involve throwing our life away. I'd rather not die again, and I find it deeply disturbing that you seem to relish the thought of it.
Because it doesn't matter if we die again. It'll just be another opportunity to have the fight of our life.
We don't know that for sure, and I'd rather not bet on it. complete your destined task, you launch off the wet stone floor of the basement and catapult yourself headlong towards the princess. Here we go. Let's make this count.
Oh, we'll make it count, all right.
As you bridge the gap, your blade slashes across the princess's chest, splitting skin and drawing a jagged line of bright red blood. But she's unfazed by your onslaught. Her expression barely changes as her fist collides with your ribs, cracking them like twigs and driving you right back down to the basement floor. You can hear her chains snap as you struggle to recover from the impact. She almost looks disappointed in us. Why is she disappointed in us?
Oh, you don't actually get it, do you? That knife may be sharp, but you clearly don't want to kill me. It's not fun if you hesitate. It's not fun if you try to trick me and make me bleed out. It's only fun if you go straight for the heart. You need to put everything you have into seeing me dead. Or what's the point? So don't be afraid. Don't hesitate. Kill me.
Don't let her get in your head. Reincarnation or not, this world needs you to win. She's huge, but that probably means she's slower than us. Take it slow, think it through, and don't panic. Bleeding her out is our best course of action. Don't listen to them. She understands something that they don't.
The only way to win, the only way out of this is through her.
You push yourself off the ground and attack the princess, trying to bait an opening. You do your best to outplay her, slashing out and leaving red cuts in the tattered remains of her white dress. But you have little room to maneuver. For every glancing blow you manage to land, she slams you against the wall in retaliation, each impact threatening to be the last.
This weak little dance isn't working. Just toughen up and overpower her.
She's throwing us around like a ragdoll. I think overpowering her is a little out of the question.
Did you think you could stop me with a few cuts? All this dancing around is doing nothing but annoying me. I own this place, and I own you.
The princess's arm shoots forward, her palm wrapping around your head, fingers gripping your skull.
How disappointing.
She squeezes, the pressure unbearable as her fingers dig into your scalp. The last thing you hear is the unsettling crack of your skull and the sickening churn of what was your grey matter. Everything goes dark, and you die. You're on a path in the wood.
If you weren't so damned afraid of what she'd do to you, we wouldn't have died back there.
If that's your plan, then that's your plan. You push off the ground, ignoring the pain in your ribs as you charge at the princess once more. You can feel flesh give way before a sudden impact blunts your momentum, your weapon tightly lodged in the bone of her arm. She grins at you from behind her guard. Pull it out. We'll try a different angle.
No, we can do this. Just keep pushing.
We're not going to win if our weapon's stuck in her arm. The princess's grin widens as the two of you push against each other, her fiery eyes and masochistic glee practically lighting up the dreary cave.
Yes, you finally get it, don't you? explain it. Look at how evenly matched we are. Nothing exists outside of us. It's just you and me, dying and coming back, clashing against each other. Forever.
That's not what's going on. There's an entire world at stake here.
Don't you all get it? The fate of the world doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is this fight.
And look at us. We're both so much stronger than we were last time. Think about how much more we can become. Nothing is better than this.
She's right. Imagine how much further we can push each other. Imagine how strong we can be.
I warned you on the stairs, and I'll warn you again. Don't get caught up in emotion. Remember why you're here.
I hate using words. They're so clumsy.
Your balance is suddenly thrown off as the princess pulls you into her knee. It glides through your ribs, and you feel them splinter, cracking like wet wood from the impact.
We're fine.
You barely have enough time to notice before the princess follows up and smashes her forehead against yours. Your grip loosens from the impact, the blade still wedged in her arm as you tumble to the cold stone floor.
I said we're fine.
I didn't say you weren't fine. I was just describing what happened. You might not have said as much, but you certainly implied it. It really doesn't matter. The princess glances down at the blade embedded in her arm, and with near total ignorance to pain, slides it out of its sinewy prison.
You forgot this.
She tosses it at your feet.
How much more proof do you need? Would it help to watch me rise from the dead with your own two eyes? Fine. Go ahead. Stab me in the heart. See what happens.
The princess throws open her arms, exposing her chest. Is she really just going to let you slay her? Do it. Do it right now, before she changes her mind. Hold on. What if this is a trick? If she's leaving herself open like this, there's only one way we can strike at her. For all we know, she's 3 steps ahead of us.
3 steps ahead of us. Have you met her? This isn't a trick.
And how would you know that?
Because I wouldn't think to trick us, so why would she?
That's a great point, so please stop hesitating and end this now.
I'm not tricking you. I just don't want you to be afraid. It's boring if you're afraid. Neither of us can die in any way that matters. If you need proof, then take it.
The princess grins as her arms fall back to her sides.
Good. Enough talk. Let's fight.
You and the princess attack each other once again, each of you dealing a single, terrible, lethal blow. Wait, does that mean we're dead? Or rather, about to be dead. As your blade pierces her sternum, the princess buries her fist into the soft meat of your organs. You feel a few horrifically painful pops, a gush of fluid, and it's over. It's finally over.
No, it's not. We're just getting started.
But it is over. Dead is dead. I know this isn't the happiest ending for you, but you saved the entire world from ruin. There are few better endings than that.
Well, are you going to listen to him? Or are you going to listen to me? Get up.
Wait, no, that can't be right. Your eyes bolt open and you push yourself back to your feet. Alive.
Ha! I told you this wasn't over.
What about her? The blade went right through her heart.
What about her? If we're fine, then she's fine.
No, she's dead. She has to be... No!
Right. We're all shit out of luck, aren't we? I knew it. I told you we should all believe in her. This is perfect.
The princess rises from the ground, staggering slightly, one hand wrapped around the hilt of the blade still buried in her heart.
We don't even need to start over anymore, do we? Let's go again.
She pulls the weapon from her chest, barely wincing, and hurls it at your feet.
You know what to do. Again.
But she came back. What's the point of fighting her if she can just do that? All of you need to settle down. This whole situation is coming dangerously close to untethering. She clearly never actually died. You just missed her heart, that's all. Oh, we just missed her heart? Oh, of course, that's all. You were the one who said we hit her heart. You were the one who said it was finally over. Well, I guess I had it wrong. You guess you had it wrong? Aren't you supposed to know everything? I never said I knew everything. Nothing. It means nothing. I shouldn't have said that. But you did say it, so it means something.
Oh, stop bickering over nothing. Our destiny is right in front of us. Pick up the blade and go to her.
Okay, fine. That is what I meant by untethering. Do you hear him rambling on about destiny? He's lost the thread. If you lose the thread, you won't be able to save the world. And what is that supposed to mean? You don't have to answer that. I'm not going to answer that. Why the bloody hell not? Because right now, there's still a razor-thin chance that you're able to get your act together. There are patterns of thought out there that beg to be finished, but once you finish them, that's it. They change everything. There's no going back, and if I say anything else, you're going to finish one of those thoughts. What? You did think it, didn't you? I tried, you know. I tried very hard to make this work. I don't like that resignation. Are you sure we can't just unthink it? Yes, like I said, I'm afraid some thoughts can't be unthinked. I'll be back. I'm going to pour myself a stiff drink. If I'm going to see the end of everything, I'd rather not be sober.
So I was right. Why are all of you so glum? This is perfect, isn't it? We get to experience greatness and battle and triumph forever.
But I think it was the stubborn one who said, your destiny awaits, right? No, hold on. There has to be another way. What if we just leave her down here? What if we run away? What if we convince her not to end the world? You can't reason with her. Ending the world is her fundamental nature. It's not a decision she can flip on and off. It is her. And what exactly can't we leave her down here? Because all it would do is stall the inevitable. And what's wrong with stalling? Oh, there's plenty wrong with stalling. The end is still the end, and I'd rather face mine head on. Oh, you mopey ass. Why did you even ask us to slay her if it was going to end like this? because it didn't have to end like this. If you don't mind, I'd rather not spend everyone's last moment arguing with you.
It's time.
Yes, I suppose it is. If we fight her forever, then maybe she can't end the world. Maybe everything can still work out. I guess we'll just have to see how things play out.
Don't you get it? You don't have to shuffle your feet. What comes next is going to last forever.
With an unbreakable determination, you snatch the blade from the floor and stumble back to your feet. Both you and the princess quake with adrenaline as your eyes lock across the basement floor and share a knowing look. Free from hesitation, you close the distance, both you and the princess aiming to end each other. Your blade digs into her neck, grinding against her vertebrae as her fist connects with your body. The impact forces the air from your lungs, stars dancing in front of your eyes as you fail to keep your bearing. You both collapse to the ground before either of you has a chance to survey the damage.
And then we get up.
Yes. And then you get up.
That was a good one. More!
You and the princess exchange dozens of devastating blows. Sometimes you manage to strike first, and sometimes she tears through you before you have a chance to act. But more often than not, each of you fells the other in the same moment. And then you get up and do it again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again. We're all still here. This is all gonna be okay. Isn't it? Isn't it?
What are you waiting for? I'm right here. Do you think this is... What is this place?
Did we do this?
Huh. I didn't think we had it in us. But I guess that stuck-up control freak was right.
It's the end of the world, isn't it? It's the end of everything.
Far from it. We're still here. And she's still here too.
I feel so... tired.
She's gone. Where does she... With an unbreakable determination. The princess remains unflinching as you run her down, her stoic expression once again curving into a knowing smile as the pristine blade buries deep into her heart. Did she really just let us do that? Apparently, yes.
See you soon.
And then she stumbles back into the wall, the blade still lodged firmly in her chest. She collapses to the ground. She's dead. It's over. It's finally over.
But it can't be over. She said she'd be back.
I know that the two of you had some sort of weird bond, but Look on the bright side. Now we don't have to die. Isn't that nice?
No, it's not nice. I wanted to fight her forever. This is shit. It's not fair.
Life isn't fair, but what's done is done, and whether you like it or not, the entire world is in your debt for saving it from ruin. I'm sure in due time you'll learn to live with yourself. Let's just get out of here. Yes, that sounds like a splendid idea. Fine. You remain where you are and watch over the princess's corpse. She remains dead.
I'm telling you, she's coming back. She said she's coming back.
She's not.
She is.
She's not coming back. She's dead. Your blade is embedded in her heart. You slew her. It's over. I don't know how many more times or how many different ways I need to express this objective reality before it finally makes its way through your dense skull.
How many different ways have you got left to express it? Because it'll take a hell of a lot more to convince me that she's not coming back.
Oh, I've got plenty. Can the two of you stop arguing?
No!
I'm not the only one who just saw her eyes open, right? What are you talking about? For the millionth time, she's...
Yes, I told you I'd be back.
alive. We're shit out of luck, aren't we?
I knew it. I told you all that we should believe in her. This is perfect.
And you waited for me. I knew I could count on you. I knew we were connected.
The princess staggers to her feet, one hand wrapped around the hilt of the blade you buried in her heart.
We don't even need to start over anymore, do we? Let's go again.
She pulls the weapon from her chest, barely wincing. Thank you for listening to reason. For a second there, I was concerned you'd bought into that stubborn one's madness.
Madness? I'm the only sane one here. I understand what we're supposed to be. The rest of you are in denial.
You turn your back to the princess and make your way to the base of the stairs. It's time for you to move on to a new, safer chapter of your life.
I'm telling you, she's coming back. She said she's coming back.
She's not.
She is.
She's not coming back. She's dead. What was that?
You know.
Yes. That's the sound.
Are you walking away from me? You didn't think this would work, did you? I can't believe you were just going to leave me here.
You turn around and see the princess stumbling to her feet, one hand wrapped around the hilt of the blade you buried in her heart.
You're not getting out of this that easy.
The princess staggers to her feet.
You're kidding, right? You can't just give up. What do you think you're doing? This isn't fair. This is even worse than deciding not to fight me from the beginning.
Stop moping. You're fine. Now get up.
What are you made of? Tissue paper? I didn't hit you that hard. Is that all you have to say? What is this? Some sort of trick? Are you tricking me? Are you really that pathetic? Because why would you? Why wouldn't you? Ah!
The princess's shoulders tense with fury as she storms towards you. You can see her face flush, her knuckles going white as she clenches her fists, her entire body trembling with a burning rage.
Can't believe you're making me watch this.
Fine. If you want to die like a pathetic little worm, you can die like a pathetic little worm.
I guess I'll see you all next time. She reaches down and grabs you by the throat, lifting your limp form and slamming it forcefully against the wall. Her eyes twitch as her grip tightens around your neck. She sure is taking her time, isn't she?
Why? Why are you letting me do this? Why are you making me do this? Why won't you fight back? It matters. I like fighting you.
Her grip hardens, and you feel a horrific pop in your neck. She releases you, your numb body crumpling to the stone floor as your vision starts to fade.
What am I supposed to do without you?
I guess I'll see you all next time. I can say that now, right? We're dead?
Great. I can't wait to be stuck in this useless body all over.
I won't be seeing you, but I suppose something like me will. Everything goes dark, and you're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path,
Answer.
her grip hardens. You pull back on the blade's hilt, doing your best to free it from its sinewed prison. But as you tug the blade free, the princess slams you down onto her knee. It collides with your ribs, and you feel them splinter, cracking like wet wood from the impact. And you find yourself in midair, effortlessly tossed across the room. You hit the floor, your ribs complaining painfully, but you can feel the hilt in your grip. You still have your weapon.
Maybe you don't get it.
You push yourself off the ground and attack the princess, trying to...
Yes, you're right.
Your balance is suddenly thrown off as the princess pulls you into her knee. You pull back on the blades.
If you weren't so damned afraid.
If that's your plan, then... But you don't get a chance to run for the stair. You shouldn't have let her break out of her bindings. What?
No. Come on.
Dead is dead, but maybe you're on a path. Blade held tight in your hand, you take a cautious step towards the princess. You stop a few feet short of her reach, her chains taut as she stares down at you. She's a lot bigger than I thought she was.
Why do you sound so scared? We can take her.
Well, what do you want? Because every second we waste talking is a second we could spend killing each other instead. Why wouldn't I want that? Why don't you want that? It felt good last time. It felt right. And it makes sense. Sparring? That's just play fighting. It isn't real. What's real is when my flesh splits open. What's real is when you keep getting up until your legs can't hold you. What's real are the things we do to each other when the only options left are winning and dying. That is the only thing I'm interested in. The world? If there's a world, I haven't seen it. There's you, and there's me, and there's the ground beneath our feet. Why would I care about ending something I've never seen? Here you go again, talking about my freedom.
The princess glances down at her chains.
If you're talking about these, they're nothing.
She steps forward, her bindings creaking under the pressure of her strength. And then they snap. It was only a matter of time, but she's loose. Dear Lord, what do we do? You took the blade. How about you use it?
Exactly. We do exactly what I've been telling you to do since the second we got here. We fight her, we kill her, we win.
What? Did you think you were safe standing right outside my grasp? The only reason I haven't drawn blood is because I want to make sure that your heart is in it. I don't like fighting someone with a weak spirit. But go ahead. Keep trying my patience. I woke up, didn't you? You don't either. I know. You already told me. I like it. It's so cramped. Like the only way out of here is through each other.
That's right, not everything has to be so violent.
That's pathetic. I would never do that, and I hate that you even suggested it. Ugh, I care, okay? I guess I just care differently than you. When I saw you come back down here, I thought you would understand. I thought that we would want the same thing. But all you've done is ask me annoying little questions. It's like you don't even want to enjoy being alive.
I wish you could hear me right now. I want to enjoy being alive. I want to fight.
We don't. Because I know why we're here. We're here to kill each other.
We're here to kill each other? It sounds like she doesn't care if she dies here. Maybe we can use that to our advantage.
How boring. I'm not interested in watching you try and outwit her. I'm interested in overpowering her. We shouldn't need to use any dirty little tricks to win.
And then what? I'm still going to want to coat these walls in our blood. I know what I am. I don't need answers. I don't need to care, because I already know what I am. I've already found my purpose.
The princess flashes a sinister grin.
You.
Does she mean her purpose is killing us?
No, she means fighting us. She means both of us getting stronger through sheer pain and will, the fear of death no longer able to hold us back. Just start stabbing her already. I'm sick of all this anticipation. We're ready.
What are you trying to do? Do you think pacifism is going to win her over? Because it won't.
Right? This isn't fun. This isn't interesting. It's pathetic and cowardly and boring.
Oh, you tease. I can't believe you'd go through all the trouble to bring a knife down here and then refuse to use it. Let's see if you still feel that way once I start beating you.
You stand your ground as the princess thunders across the basement floor, her shoulders tucked low as her fierce, unblinking gaze locks onto yours. You don't see the impact, and you can't say for sure if you even feel it, but you hear your bones splinter. You can feel your feet leave the floor as you're hurled bodily into the unflinching stone wall.
We're fine.
Are we fine? Are we really? No, you're obviously not fine. Your body is broken.
Enough games. Pick up that knife and fight me.
Your eyes, swimming with a concussed delirium, look down in confusion at your now empty hands. It takes you a moment to drag your vision across the floor before you manage to pick it out amongst the stalagmites littering the basement. It's sitting at the princess's feet.
Here, let me lend you a hand.
She bends to the floor and pinches the tip of the weapon between her fingers. She stares down at it in mocking disgust before hurling it towards you. It lands at your feet with a pathetic, tinny clatter. Stop.
Is this a trick? Are you tricking me? Because why would you? Why wouldn't you?
What are you trying to do? Do you think pacifism is going to win her over? Because it won't.
Why aren't you saying anything? Is this some sort of trick? Are you tricking me? Or are you really that fragile? Because why would you? Why wouldn't you? Oh, you've got another thing coming if you think you can just turn around and leave.
Step towards the stairs. You hear the heavy creak of straining metal. Then a snap. She's loose. You have to make a decision, and you have to make it fast. How about we get the hell out of... Your voice doesn't have the chance to finish. Can I... Sure. Why? Here. So glad we could stick around to hear the end of that. But I'm afraid that's all the time you had left. Why, for the love of everything, did you stop to... It doesn't matter.
No.
Dead is... You're on a path.
Oh, you've got another thing coming if you think you can just turn around and leave.
As the princess barrels toward you, do your best to outplay her, slashing out. Are you really just gonna not say anything to that? If she doesn't want to leave, doesn't this whole situation just work out for everyone?
There's nothing out there for me. The only thing I care about is right here. All I want is to keep knowing what it feels like to kill you and be killed by you. I want to feel that knife split me open. I want to feel your bones snap beneath my fists.
I think I'll just let the princess speak for herself here. Leaving her in the basement isn't an answer. You have to make a choice.
And there's only one choice worth making. Fight her. Win.
I'm sorry, did I hear that right? Did you just say you're going to try and free her?
She doesn't even want to be free.
Exactly. So beyond the apocalyptic moral implications of letting her out, how do we even think that's going to work? I mean, we have a weapon, right? We could always just cut her out, yeah? While she's trying to kill you. Yeah, why not? And then what? Do you think she'll just follow you out of here? Maybe. I don't know. It's worth a shot, isn't it? No, it's not. Actually, no, you're not. I have a responsibility to the world here, and I'm not just going to let you throw yourself into a scenario where the literal best outcome is the end of everything. Until you come up with any other idea, your body remains standing rigidly in place.
What do you think you're doing? You can't just order our body around like it's some sort of doll.
Watch me. Your left arm lifts towards the ceiling and your hand twists into an obscene gesture. See? I can make you do whatever I want.
So what? You barely managed to lift our arm.
What are you doing? What is that? Why are you moving so weird?
The princess, taken aback, flashes her own rude gesture in return.
Hey, you, decision maker. I want us to fight her as much as he wants us to kill her, but this is boorish. Just ignore him. If you want to try and free her, I don't think there's much he can do to actually stop you.
You know what? Fine. Blade in hand, you charge forward to try and free the princess from her bindings.
Finally. I have no idea what you were just doing, but I'm glad it's over.
Flash across her wrist, her elbow comes crashing down on your skull. An unsettling crack echoes in your ears. It's a devastating blow. Your body crumples to the floor, limbs suddenly refusing to respond. This might be it.
That's it, huh? You've gotten really soft.
Everything goes dark, and you die. Really? In just one blow? Yes.
Oh, come on, that's hardly fair. We're not dead. You're just flipping the table over.
It is what it is. You're dead. Finished. Over.
All right, fine. This whole thing's a frustrating mess anyways. We're better off with a fresh start. I'll see you two next time.
You're on a path.
No knife this time. Right then, fisticuffs it is. Probably more fair to her anyway. Wouldn't want to feel like we cheated our way to a win.
As long as you can still get the job done. And don't forget that the blade is waiting for you upstairs if you happen to change your mind. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a rough stone staircase. Its walls perfect.
Is that another challenge?
This isn't what good. As much as I appreciate as you descend, looks like she could rip those chains.
Oh, it's you again. But no little knife that. No. I'll be waiting.
You make your way back up the stairs to the cabin above. The princess, surprisingly true to her word, lets you leave. The blade remains where you left it, on the wrought iron altar.
Great. Now pick it up and march back down there. I'm tired of us constantly moving in circles instead of fighting her like we're supposed to. Me, I say that.
Staying up here doesn't solve anything. All it does is kick the can down the road. If you don't deal with her now, she will find a way out. Those doors are made of stone and she's still in chains. She's strong, yeah, but is she break her chains and smash through stone strong?
Wouldn't it be exciting if she was?
Here's another idea. What if we just leave? Absolutely not. If you leave, she'll leave, and that'll be the end of everything as we know it. Fine. You stay up here. Nothing happens. Are you done? Are you ready to finally start taking this seriously?
I'm ready to start taking this seriously. Put me in charge.
Oh, how I wish I could, because literally anyone else making decisions would be better than this. But unfortunately, that's beyond the scope of my abilities. Is she really just going to wait down there forever? She's got to start getting impatient eventually. Your thoughts are interrupted by the sound of the princess furiously stomping her way up the stairs. But what about her chains? What about them? They're clearly not holding her back any longer.
Yes, yes. We're finally going to get our rematch and there's nothing you can do to stop it.
I'm tired of waiting. You thought you could just leave me down here, didn't you? But I can feel you trembling on the other side of this door. There's nowhere left for you to run.
The entire cabin shakes as the princess throws herself against the basement door. We're fine, right?
If we had a weapon, we'd be fine.
Yes, you should probably pick up the blade, shouldn't you? I know I'd feel a lot safer with it. Before you can act, another impact shakes the cabin, a massive gash splitting its way up the stone doors.
She comes.
The doors explode outwards, shards of stone clattering against the walls as the princess emerges from the basement.
After everything we've been through, I can't believe this is going to end with you cowering in a corner. You're pathetic.
We're doomed! In a fit of violence, the princess explodes across the room and closes the gap between you. She is merciless. With every blow comes a bloom of fresh pain, igniting nerves you didn't know you even had, your skin bruising and splitting and bleeding as her fists rain down relentlessly. But thankfully, you won't have to bear this agony much longer. Your body has its limits, and she has found them.
I hate this.
With your body a shapeless pulp, her fingers wrap around what's left of your neck.
You disgust me.
You hear a snap, then everything goes dark, and you die. You're on a path.
No knife this time.
I guess we'll have to see how this goes. Your hands empty, you charge the princess.
Quit the pessimism, will you?
Right? It's almost like you don't want us to beat her. No, look, I'm rooting for you, I really am. I'm just doing my best to keep my expectations grounded. You don't have a weapon. You're supposed to have a weapon.
We'll be fine. Just watch.
You attack, fists raised, and the two of you fall into combat. Your clawed fingers tear into her flesh, and her fists and elbows return the blows in kind, bruises blossoming in her wake, and blood vessels rupturing in vivid sprays of gore.
Not bad. You're tougher than I thought you'd be.
Hear that? She respects us. We can pull this off.
Yeah, you're right.
But without that knife, you'll never be enough.
Her knee connects with your sternum with a loud, violent crack. The wind leaves your lungs, and as you struggle for breath, you can feel something flooding in to fill the space. Hot blood, suffocating you from the inside.
You have to want to kill me. Like this.
You don't so much as see her movement before she deals the killing blow. Everything goes dark, and you die. Are you serious?
That's it.
That's it.
Like hell it is. We're not giving up that easy. Now get up.
Didn't you hear me? You're dead. There's no getting up from that. It's over. Who cares? Wait, no, that's not right. You're
Not dead anymore.
Yes. Your eyes bolt open and you push yourself back to your feet. You're alive. The princess takes a step back and looks down at her pulp-covered fists.
I could have sworn I killed you. That's your face splattered on the walls and dripping from my hands. You don't. I don't even know how you're talking to me.
You raise your hands and touch the front of your head. She's not wrong.
What? What did she do? What are we missing?
Who cares if we're missing our face? We can fight just fine without one.
The two of you clash once more. It's not as one-sided as I feared, but it's still a far cry from what I'd hoped. Her injuries, though numerous, pale in comparison to yours, and the wounds you've inflicted upon her barely seem to have slowed her down. As much as you're trying to ignore it, adrenaline pushing you far past your limits, every movement burns.
This is getting boring. Are you even trying to keep up with me?
She lands another devastating, lethal blow. Everything goes dark. Again. And you die. Again.
You know what I'm going to say.
Though we're not dead.
Yeah, but we're not dead. Come on, get up. If we can just keep going, we're bound to wear her down eventually.
Are you sure she can't do what we're doing right now?
There's only one way to find out.
Once more, you push yourself back to your mangled feet.
How are you still moving? How are you still doing anything? Bodies aren't supposed to look like that.
An uncharacteristic terror seems to grip her voice. Have we ever seen her afraid before? No, we haven't.
This is how we win. We can do this forever.
I'm going to put you out of your misery. I don't like looking at you like this. You're all twitching and wrong.
I'd like to see her try. We're invincible.
Her fist flies towards where your face used to be, your twisted body incapable of moving out of the way. And then you see nothing. Everything goes dark and we die? Yes, something like that. Well, don't you have something to say?
Yeah, I quit.
You're on a path in the wood.
If you weren't so damn focused on freeing her, we wouldn't have died back there. You're strong, but you're bullheaded. This isn't a fight, it's a puzzle. She's stronger than us, but we can use that to our advantage. I hate puzzles. Yeah, of course you do.
I've never done a puzzle myself, but anything that doesn't get us beaten to death is good in my book. What do you have in mind?
Same thing as last time, only we'll be smarter about it. We're getting her out of there. After that, we're seeing what happens.
Are you insane? Do you have any idea how dangerous that would be? If she gets out of here, that's it. Game over for everyone, yourself included. Are you not challenging us on all the looping? Have you known about it the whole time? Are you the same one we've been talking to since the beginning?
Why the lies? Why have you been playing the fool? What good could it possibly accomplish?
Sorry to disappoint what I'm sure must feel like a grand revelation, but that's not what's going on here. We've never met.
Enlighten me, then.
I have no memory of meeting you, but you've clearly seen things you weren't supposed to have seen. You'd only be saying the things you've been saying if you'd already been here.
So where does that leave us?
It leaves us exactly where we started, and where I'm sure you've already been before. The princess, left unhindered, will bring about the end of the world. You have to put a stop to her. The only way to do that is to slay her.
But we didn't stop her last time. We died. Yet here we are in a world unended. A different world unended, to be sure, but there's still solid ground beneath our feet. What the hell are you going on about? Even if he isn't lying, reality clearly continues to be real. So I want to see what happens when she leaves. I think we all need to see the truth.
You absolutely do not need to see that. I've already told you the truth, and the only thing to see after she leaves is the end of everything. It's not worth it.
The truth is always worth it. If we're going to get to the bottom of things, we need to have a method. We need to isolate a variable, and right now her interaction with the outside world is the most interesting variable there is. It's one of the only things we haven't seen.
As much as I appreciate your dedication to scientific rigor, your core assumptions are all wrong. This isn't a puzzle, and this isn't an experiment. It's a do-or-die situation with apocalyptic consequences. And might I remind you that while it may seem consequence-free to you, that does not make it consequence-free to me, or to the people I'm trying to protect. And for all you know, the end isn't really consequence-free to you. You said yourself that the world is different than what you've already seen. It isn't supposed to be, and if things are changing, they're changing for the worse. It's just how things work here. Treat this like it's your last attempt.
Screw it. I'm sick of this smug asshole telling us what to do. If you need help busting her out of there, I'm your man. Welcome aboard. And if things go bad once we get her out of the cabin, well, at least you'll be able to get the fight you wanted.
The rest of you had better keep those two in check. They're far along the edge of a dangerous path. Don't let them go any further. It's evidence of one of many ticking clocks. You can't let her spread any further.
But do we know it's her? For all we know, he's in control, pulling the strings to make us too afraid to do anything but slay her.
For all we know, it could be us making the changes.
Exactly. And at least, as things are now, there's no way for us to know. But the world is clearly not as it seems. We can't trust anything until we learn more.
If you question reality itself, there's not much I can offer in the way of persuasion, but do consider that it probably isn't helpful for anyone to doubt the ground they stand on.
It's up to you in the end, isn't it? It'd be best if you bought in, but there's not a whole lot we can do to stop you if you decide to do something else.
These are just powerless thoughts and opinions. You don't need to let them drag you and the world to ruin. It isn't long before you find yourself at the end of the path, staring up the hill at the cabin. I hope you've given serious thought to your predicament.
No last advice for us? No words of warning?
From what I gather, you've heard it all before. There's no use screaming into the wind.
I don't know. Screaming sounds pretty good right about now.
I could use a little catharsis.
There'll be time for that later. For now, you know what you have to do.
The interior of the cabin is suffocatingly tight, more of a glorified tunnel than a building. Its stone walls squeeze against your sides, leaving you no choice but to press forward. The only furniture of note is an iron altar jutting out from the wall, a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you're going to do this right.
But there's nowhere to go in here. This is just a hallway with a mirror at the end of it.
A mirror? But there isn't a mirror here. There's the iron altar, the blade sitting on the altar, and the door to the basement. Does he really not see it?
Or maybe what we see as a mirror, he sees as a door.
It is a door. And before you ask, no, it's not a mirror-shaped door. The object at the end of this room is both door-shaped and a door. There shouldn't be any room for misinterpretation.
Who cares what it is? It's in our way, we should smash it. Take it.
You take the blade from the altar. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon.
Good. Wouldn't want to be pushed around without a way to push back. She likes when we can push back, doesn't she?
You step forward and approach the door to the basement, hesitating before you open it, as if you don't see it. You're rather committed to the bit, aren't you? The door's right there, it's right in front of you. It's a bit grimy. Why don't we wipe it clean? You reach forward and drag your hand across the door leading to the basement. As if on command, it slowly slides open, scraping against the floor as it reveals the dim path ahead. Before you is what may as well be a sheer cliff face. There are enough footholds that you'll be able to clamber your way to the bottom, but it will require careful effort. The air hissing up from below is warm and wet, like the breath of an enemy locked in close quarters. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice, bold and fierce and impatient, echoes from the chamber below.
Do you have more fight in you than last time? That was such a disappointing show. I know you can do better than that.
She hasn't changed as much as she did the time before. She still wants a fight, which means we still know her. We can use that to our advantage.
That's not how this works. I'm all chained up, remember? How about you come down here and fight me?
Don't worry about the chains. I've got a plan. Yeah, we'll just have to get her to break them. You've nowhere to go but down. You start the difficult journey, gripping the stone, lowering yourself foot by grueling foot. But soon, there is solid ground beneath you. We best remember how to get back up. The last thing we want is to be stuck between a wall and a raging devil. You turn to face what lies at the end of the narrow tunnel. The princess, imposing and tightly muscled, grins back at you from the darkness. Her face widens into a broad grin.
There you are, knife in hand. How thrilling! Attack me, bleed me, twist the blade in my flesh, break your bones against my body. I want a real challenge this time.
If we're trying to break her out, I doubt she'll come willingly. We'll have to use ourselves as bait. I really don't like the sound of this. It's the only way to get us both out. And we need to see what happens when she leaves the cabin. You know what? I should have tried to intervene earlier because I can't let you do that. I won't tough shit. We're the ones in control here. It's not the... Yeah, doesn't feel nice to be yanked around against your will, does it?
Well, what are you waiting for? If we're gonna do this right, you can't be scared. You need to want this as much as I do. So go on. Make the first move. Don't keep me waiting. We've talked plenty. I'm sick of talking. I'm sick of waiting. I'm sick of you standing just out of reach and teasing me with a fight you won't let me have. You disappointed me last time, so you don't get to choose what happens next.
Bloody desire in her eyes, the princess rushes forward, ignoring her chains as they bend and snap. Okay, she's taken the bait. Now let's get out of here. Without hesitation, you turn back the way you came and scramble up the ledge towards the tunnel entrance. As you near the top, hands desperately clawing at jagged stone, you glance back. The princess is right on your heels. She doesn't bother to scale the wall as you do, instead digging deep into the rock of the cliff face with her fingertips in her rabid pursuit.
Anywhere you go, I will follow.
We're planning on it. You reach the ledge and hoist yourself up into the tunnel, the cabin door finally in sight, at once within your grasp and infinitely distant.
What is all of this for? What's the point? You and I are always going to end in violence, so why bother to run? I know what I am. Why can't you be the same?
You continue to the door. It'd be a real shame if it was stuck. Don't listen to him. Locks are nothing, just barrel through. No! Skin hums tight with adrenaline as you burst through the cabin door and roll onto the grass. You bastard. You glance back at the cabin as the princess, singular in her desire to destroy you, explodes through the doorway. So, this is what the end looks like.
What is this place? Where are we? This doesn't feel right. It's cold. Why is it so cold? I feel so tired.
She's gone.
Screw them.
I think you know. You meekly throw yourself against the locked door, your will to triumph sapped by the burden of knowing what would have happened should you have succeeded. This truly is for the best. Your body pulls taut as her hand wraps around your arm. Before you can even try to pull away, she slams you into the wall, your head bouncing dangerously off the hard stone. Shit. We had a plan. We should have stuck to it.
Why does this feel so empty? Why does it feel so wrong? This isn't how things are supposed to go. This is so cold and disappointing.
Your body still reeling from the impact, your eyes fall on her fist as it drills towards your skull with lethal intent. She's gone. And there's the... The princess scoffs.
Oh, you're up to something tricky, aren't you? You're teasing me with what I want, but I'm sick of waiting. I'm not going to let you give me another bad fight. I'm going to get what I want.
Bloody desire.
You step forward, stopping just outside the reach of her chains. The princess scoffs.
Oh, you're up to something tricky, aren't you?
Change your plans, boys. I thought we were on the same page. I can't believe you'd give up the game so easy.
You charge headlong into the princess, blade flashing in the dim light of the basement.
Yes, 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 yes! Finally, you get it!
For a moment, the scales feel balanced, each of you inflicting debilitating wounds on the other, striking in a dizzying synchronicity. But it isn't long before they tip in her favor. The cuts and bruises inflicted seem little more than superficial, barely so much as slowing her down as she continues her onslaught. You, in contrast, finding it harder to stand as your body gradually becomes less responsive, less powerful, less stable. You can tell she's trying to make it last, but all it would take is one meaningful strike. The coup de grace.
This was good, but you could have been so much better. I'm beyond you now.
Here it comes. I'll see you all on the other side.
She's gone. And there's...
Dead certain. Everything inside of me screams for it.
This is getting us nowhere. Agreed. We'll have to go down there. You step forward. You reach forward and drag your hand across.
dead, sir.
You've nowhere to go but down. You start the difficult journey, gripping the stone, lowering yourself foot by grueling foot.
There you are. But this time you don't even have that little knife. Do you think this is a joke? Do you need me to break those fragile bones again to remind you how serious this is?
Good. You don't even have to goad her. She's doing it all herself. Let her break those chains and then run for the basement. She'll chase us without a second thought.
You know what? I should have tried to intervene earlier because I can't let you do that. I won't.
Tough shit. We're the ones in control here.
It's not the...
Yeah, doesn't feel nice to be yanked around against your will, does it? Bloody desire in her eyes, the princess rushes forward, ignoring her chains as they bend and snap. We don't have time. We just have to get her outside. That's what matters.
You're making a mistake. You stumble as you reach for the blade. In most circumstances it would mean nothing, but in such a confined space, a lost second was all she needed to catch up to you.
So you do want to fight me? Good.
Your body pulls taut as her hand. You continue to... It's over. You continue towards the door, vulnerable and unarmed.
No, I can't let this happen. I can't let her leave with you.
And what are you gonna do to stop that?
I don't know. You try the door and oh, what a relief. It's stuck.
Bash it open.
Please, you can't.
I think you forgot something.
You feel the burning pain of something long and sharp driving through your back. It slices its way into your organs until finally it exits out the other side, sticking into the wood of the door with an echoing thunk.
She killed us with her own weapon. Great.
We needed to take it.
We're not dead yet. It's not over till we can't get up again.
Coward. All of this is so wrong. This isn't how things are supposed to be. This is so cold and disappointing.
Your body pinned to the wall, you crane your neck to see her final approach. She is enveloped in complete lethality, and there is nothing you can do to stop her. I really didn't want it to have to end like this, but your death in here is better than her freedom.
See you all next time.
She's gone. You take the blade from the altar. You bring your fist crashing down. I really don't like the sound.
Well, what are you waiting for? If we're gonna do this right, you can't be scared. You need to want this as much as I do.
Change your plans, boy.
Impatient! This is you charge.
Yes, yes, yes!
For a moment, the scales feel. You step forward, stopping just outside the reach. We're almost don't think. And your skin hums tight with adrenaline. You glance back at the cabin as the. You step forward, stopping just outside the reach of her chains. The princess scoffs.
Oh, you're up to something tricky, aren't you? You're teasing me with what I want, but I'm sick of waiting. I'm not going to let you give me another bad fight. I'm going to get what I want.
Bloody desire in her eyes, the princess rushes forward, ignoring her chains as they bend and snap. Run. Without hesitation, you turn back the way you came and scramble up the ledge towards the tunnel entrance. As you near the top, hands desperately clawing at jagged stone, you glance back. The princess is right on your heels. She doesn't bother to scale the wall as you do, instead digging deep into the rock of the cliff face with her fingertips in her rapid pursuit.
Anywhere you go, I will follow.
Good. You reach the ledge and hoist yourself up into the tunnel, the cabin door finally in sight, at once within your grasp and infinitely distant.
What is all of this for? What's the point? You and I are always going to end in why I know what I am. Why can't you be the same? Little bird, where do you think you're going?
We're almost there. Don't think about almost. We're there when we're there. And we'll take the fight with us. The skin hums tight with adrenaline as you burst through the cabin door and roll onto the grass. You glance back at the cabin as the princess, singular in her desire to destroy you, explodes through the doorway. You are walking a dangerous path. If you waver once, it's all over. So get it right.
There's nothing left to slow me down. Do you think this is better for you? Do you think this space gives you an edge? Then show me! Show me that you've been worth all the room you've taken up in my head!
Do it! Be swift, strike true, be where she's not. Let your body move you.
Oh, we'll see about that. Traps aren't real. The only thing that's real is bloodshed.
She charges, fully determined to end you in a single move.
Left, now.
As the princess strikes, your body swerves to the left. She overextends, stumbling as her balance shifts unexpectedly. Strike. Before you can finish the thought, you lash out, the blade slicing through her leg. She turns to swing again. Right. You move out of the way, but this time it's not quite as clean. You can feel a bruise already blooming where her elbow crashed into flesh.
It's nothing. A scratch.
Yes, it could be worse. And you managed to gift her another cut in return. I'll be damned.
We're actually going to pull this off, aren't we?
You just might, but don't let it get to your head. Not until it's over.
Yes, finally! This is the hole I felt in my heart. This is what I've needed. This is what I've been missing. This is how it always needed to end. Both of us giving it our all, beating and bleeding each other to death.
The two of you engage in a devastating flurry of blows, each of you wielding the other again and again. She's stronger, but you're faster, and the deeper the both of you fall into your lethal dance, the more your edge shines over hers. She's slowing down, blood pouring from wounds, splattering at her feet, leaving her weak and unsteady.
More. Keep going. We can't stop now.
You spy an opening, but this time she's waiting for you. She lets you sink the blade deep, trapping you in place long enough to wrap you in her impenetrable arms. You're slammed to the ground.
Nothing. These blows are nothing to us.
But her gambit wasn't enough to close the gap. It wasn't enough to kill you. She stares you down, coughing up a splash of blood as she gasps for breath.
You've outplayed me, haven't you? Something feels wrong. Something.
And? Then what happens? You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path...
Alright, change of plans. We're taking the blade this time.
Who cares about the blade? If we had a chance against her, we already missed it, didn't we? She got stronger, and we stayed the same.
Last I checked, she still bleeds. And that means we can still win. We just didn't take it seriously enough last time.
If that's what you want, then fine. Enjoy being beaten to death again and again and again.
You're stuck here with us too. For all you know, we'll never get to leave this place until we get it right.
Well, this is just great. Let me cut to the chase. Clearly, you've already been here.
Yeah, you think?
Actually, I don't think we have been here. This is all different, isn't it?
That's a good point. Everything here is a little... off.
Yes, precisely. And if you'd given me 2 seconds to finish my thought, I would have said that. Oh, you're actually letting me talk now. Great. If you've already been here, it means you've seen things you aren't supposed to have seen, and you know things that you aren't supposed to know. This doesn't look like a path in the woods if reality seems distorted. It's because reality is distorted.
So you knew this could happen? You knew we'd be able to restart like this?
I know all sorts of things, which is why you should listen to me.
That's not really an answer.
Look, if the world around you is changing, especially all the way out here, then that means you're nearing the point of no return. Whatever happens next, that's it. There won't be any more do-overs. So you'd better take things seriously. Don't worry. We only need this one last go at things.
You'd better hope that's true. And don't let that inflated ego get in the way of doing your job.
What's the point? We might as well just give up. The stakes keep getting higher and we keep getting smaller.
Oh, cut it out, will you? We need to be tough right now, and you're making it so much harder than it has to be, so stop whining. Anything I say at this point is far more likely to accelerate the unraveling of this place than it is to actually help you do your job. In fact, I probably shouldn't have even said that. I trust that if you've been here before, it means you know how dangerous she is, and that you know I'm not lying to you about her.
Really? That's it? That's all we're getting out of here?
Even now you're full of secrets. We're doomed, aren't we?
I get it. You're conflicted. You've been through a lot, but I really have to be firm here.
I will tell you one thing, which is that even now you are capable of stopping her and saving the world from ruin. You always have been, and you always will be. Do with that what you will.
So what if I'm speaking my mind? It's not like I've ever really got to say anything.
Let's keep it that way. I don't trust this one.
I don't think you have much to worry about. You're still the one in charge here, and I don't think that's ever going to change.
Then what happens? Have you even been listening? It's the end is what happens.
Yeah, but is there something after the end?
How am I supposed to know? The end means finality. It's not like I can just peek on over to the other side and tell you what it's like there, if there even is a there. It doesn't matter because we're going to win. Now that's exactly the sort of mindset I like to see. Don't let yourself be consumed with self-doubt. Don't flirt with oblivion. Just focus on the present and everything will be absolutely fine. Good. We're all on the same page. It isn't long before you find yourself at the end of the path, staring up at the cabin on the hill. You'll find the princess within, as I'm sure you already know. End her.
That's it? No final words of advice?
I'd rather not waste any more time. I'm sure that any advice I'd give at this point is something you've already heard. That's fine by me. Let's get moving. I'm itching for a rematch. The interior of the cabin is a place that feels long forgotten. There was once an elegance to its construction, carved marble columns holding a high arched roof, vaulted windows letting in the weak starlight. But that is how it was. Now there is a growth that has overtaken it. A viscous fluid seeps from cracks in the stone walls, and it congeals into chaotic streaks of writhing nerves and wet clumps of living meat. That's horrible. It doesn't matter. The only furniture of note is a pulsating pedestal, a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. Mirror? There is no mirror. There's the pedestal, the blade sitting on the pedestal, and the door to the basement. Just to tell us where the door is. I'd like to get back to fighting. If you want us to kill her so bad, I'm sure you feel the same. No more messing around. I don't know what to tell you. There isn't a mirror because I would know if there was a mirror. You're either seeing things, or what are you trying to influence with us? That's an unnecessarily melodramatic. You step forward and approach the door to the basement, hesitating before you open it. As if you don't see it. You really don't, do you? How strange. It's a bit grimy. Why don't we wipe it clean? Wipe what clean? Are you still on about that mirror? It's not real. I'd know about it if it were real. No, we can't doubt our eyes like that. It has to be real. Let's just smash it and get it over with. I'm ready to get violent. We won't be able to see what's in there if we smash it. Do whatever you want with it. The mirror isn't real, so how you handle it doesn't matter, aside from wasting dangerous amounts of time. You reach forward and drag your hand across the door leading to the basement. As if on command, it slowly slides open, scraping against the stone floor, its ancient hinges moaning as it reveals the dim path ahead. Why am I not surprised? You step forward into the darkness. The stairs leading down to the basement are at once both narrow and grandiose. The high vaulted ceiling stretches up into a gloom beyond your sight, while walls wet with tumorous growths press in uncomfortably at your sides. You feel both unprotected and trapped, at once exposed and claustrophobic. The air is thick, its odour an oppressive violence, the metallic scent of fresh blood twisting with the nauseating embers of charred remains. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favour. Her voice, a bellowing rage, roars up the stairs.
So you've returned. Do you intend to weakly claw your fingers across my skin? Or have you finally decided to try and kill me properly? I think you'll find it won't be so simple. I've changed. The way your flesh felt grinding beneath my fist, it woke something in me. That wasn't a fight. It was something worse. I'm something worse now. Why don't you come down and see what you've made of me?
But I don't want to see what we made. Can't you just give up? Blade, no blade, it's all the same. We can't beat her. Not anymore.
We can. You're just a quitter. I want to see. You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. The chamber's walls are painted in blood, a deep, sickening red that drips down in clotted streams onto the charred corpses that make up its floor. This place reeks of torment, of ripped skin and burning bone. The princess stands in its centre, muscles flayed and bare and weeping, draped in a tattered dress of her own skin. Her heart beats from its place in her open chest.
Do you know what I'm going to do to you?
There's not so much a moment of hesitation before she steps forward. Her chains pull taut, holding fast as she strains against them. The cuff around her wrist digs deeper into her skin. Blood drips from the place where metal meets flesh. Then, with a nauseating sound, the skin tears. It plops to the ground, and she pulls her red, glistening arm free from her bindings. She is loose, and she is coming for you.
What can we even do against someone like her? She has such power, such beauty.
Stop that. We can win. We just have to lose our fear. We don't even have a weapon. It doesn't matter. I refuse to go out any way that isn't kicking and screaming.
Time happened. You happened. But none of that matters. We're together again, and I'll have what you denied me.
She bounds across the room, her fists ready, her heart set upon your destruction. Horrifying squelch. You are unwound.
I hope you weren't planning on dying. We're going to make this last forever. Huh. I feel cold. I've never felt cold before.
She's gone, and there's that. I think you know.
I can. You're right. We don't. But I want to. So badly.
She bounds across the room.
If you're sorry, then you'll stand and fight. I don't want a sniveling coward. I want to squeeze the life out of a ferocious heart.
She bounds across the room.
No. No more words. There is only the truth of violence left between us.
She bounds across the room.
No! No more work!
Still unarmed, you charge towards the princess.
It's now or never. Let's make it a beautiful blaze of glory.
Horrifying squelch. You are You stand. Arms out. Horrifying squelch. You take the blade. Good.
All we see.
The mirror. What? But it has. Let's just. We won't do whatever. You bring your fist as if on command. While you step forward, the stairs leading down. You make your way. The chamber's walls are painted in blood. A deep, sickening red.
You'll try. And that's what I've been so excited for. Let's hurt each other.
Your heart full of fear, you charge towards the princess, your eyes locked on each other, both of you prepared to lay down your very essence in one blow.
It's now or never. Let's make it a beautiful blaze of glory.
Horrifying squelch. That seems like a pretty good compromise.
I don't think I could bear being down here that much longer.
Leaving her alive is too risky. If you don't deal with her soon, she will find a way out. So I'm the only one who liked that idea.
One way or another, I'm going to find a way out of here. It would make it easier for both of us if you'd help. But if you don't, I can promise that you'll regret that decision.
You have to make a choice. Let's hope for all our sakes it's the right one. You can't be serious.
Thank you. Thank you. You won't regret this, I promise.
You're making a huge mistake. No, I think you're doing the right thing. You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs. Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
Maybe there's some way to break the chains? Or if that doesn't work, I guess we can always cut me out of them.
She offers the suggestion with almost complete nonchalance. If we were stuck down here long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant about cutting our way out if it meant we could finally be free. You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place. Is someone else here? You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd just taken the blade like you were supposed to. Easier for whom? Easier for everyone. Look at the mess you're in.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
There's a slight panic rising in the princess's voice.
If I could just get out of these chains, I know we could force our way out of here together.
She barely hesitates before raising her arm to her mouth, her teeth tearing through her limb with the determination of a trapped wolf. As she rips her flesh from her bone, a sound comes from behind you, the clang of bouncing metal. It's the blade from upstairs. You're not sure how it made its way down here, but if there's a time to strike, it's now. Or we could use it to free her. You won't like what happens if you do that. Fine. Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the ragged, self-inflicted wound on the princess's arm, just above the unyielding chain binding her to this place. You cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp, and it takes little effort to crack through the bone of her arm. Her limb falls to the ground, and the heavy chains follow suit. She didn't so much as utter a sound through the whole ordeal. No, she didn't. She smiles softly as her gaze meets yours, blood from her wounded arm dripping rhythmically to the ground. How is she still smiling after everything? It's like she isn't even bothered by what just happened.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No, I can't just let her escape into the world. As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade. Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that. Watch me.
What are you doing?
Okay, there's no going back now. I'm with you to the end. You bring the blade down to strike at the princess's heart. But she's fast. She ducks to the floor, your blade narrowly grazing her backside. Slaying her won't be easy now that she's free.
We could have gotten out of here together. Were you just lying to me this whole time? I don't know what's come over you, but if I have to kill you, then I'll kill you. Do you think I need both of my arms to do that?
She pounces on you with the same animal ferocity she used to tear through her arm. But you have a weapon. You raise the blade, digging it under her ribs, aiming directly for the heart. It's not enough to stop her. You feel her claws in your throat, then her teeth, somehow sharp enough to pull apart your flesh and sinew. You collapse. If we're lucky, the wound cut has everything. You're on a path. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world. A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says. Don't worry. You can trust us to get the job done. The interior of the cabin is a mess of twisted roots. The walls a chaotic weave of knotted wood that, almost as if by accident, just happened to resemble a room. The floor is damp and earthy, and the only furniture of note is a slab of mud in the shape of a shelf, with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. No blade. Hope you know what you're getting us into. It'll always be here if we need it. Sure, that was also true last time and we still died, but we definitely know what we're doing this time. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase dug into the muddy earth below. The ceiling is thick with roots that hang like locks of tangled hair. The weak starlight from the cabin windows behind you can barely penetrate the gloom here, only illuminating the edges of an opening below. It shines in the darkness like some kind of massive maw, waiting to swallow you up into the earth. The air smells of dirt and copper. It's thick and wet, as if your lungs are being coated in mud with each intake of breath. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. Her voice skitters up from below.
Something nasty finds itself on my stairs. Come on down. Don't be scared. I probably won't bite. I recognize that voice as easily as I recognized your nervous little footsteps coming up the path. I know who you are, and I remember what you've done.
She must have you confused with someone else. She seems friendly enough. Maybe we can talk our way out of this whole situation. You can't. Unless you slay her right away, she's going to break free and end the world. There's no reasoning with what she is. Look, I'm just throwing ideas out there. I like to think out loud. I'm the kind of guy who likes a discussion. Don't we want to hear what everyone has to say before making any big decisions? Do you want to hear what everyone has to say? Or do you just want to hear yourself talk? You need to stop lingering. Your task is to slay the princess, not endlessly debate about what to do with the princess. Fine, fine. You're the boss. Thank you. You descend the basement steps, entering the dark room below. You can just make out the shape of the princess in the gloom. She's huddled against the far wall, her eyes bright and glaring from amid the thick roots.
And there you are, once again seeming to offer a helping hand while likely hiding the other behind your back. Fine, I'll play along for now. What do you want?
She's acting like the two of you already know each other. Oh, no. You've already been here, haven't you? That's pretty sharp. How'd you figure that one out? Call it deductive reasoning. Well, you seem to be great at it. Do you remember us then? Do you remember last time? No, I don't. But you and the princess clearly have a shared reality, even if I'm not a part of it. I won't waste time fighting you on something that's clearly true. I'm just glad we could put all this behind us. Is it all behind us? Just focus on the task at hand. I don't care if you've been here before, and I don't care if you think you'll go somewhere else after this. My world is on the line right now, so I'd appreciate it if you would take this seriously and slay her. Let's chat her up a bit first. Maybe we can find a middle ground where everyone's happy. Don't talk to her. You're just going to make things more difficult than they have to be.
Well, I seem to remember you having a tongue.
Ooh, smart. Let's apologize. Get us back on the right foot.
Oh, you're sorry. Isn't that nice? You're such a gracious little monster. If you're sorry, then let me out of here. Prove it. Is that a joke? Do you think a joke will charm my trust back? You'll have to try harder than that. suppose you didn't come into my hovel of your own accord, did you? All right. I suppose I could team up. I need a way out after all, and unfortunately, you're the only one I have.
Seems to me like she's offering a mutually beneficial arrangement. We should take it. Do you know what the word mutually means? Because it sounds to me like she's offering an arrangement that benefits her and her alone.
Oh, I don't need you to cut me out.
The princess grins as the chains fall from her wrist. She could have gotten out of those the whole time. That sneaky little... A woman after my own heart, really. She knows how to hold her cards close to her chest. This is why she can't just be abandoned here. If left to her own devices, she'll find a way out. Now stop her.
And why would I do such a thing? Is someone's guilty conscience getting to them? But I wouldn't worry. As much as I may hate you, letting you live is in my best interests. If you get me out of here, the only thing that will be dead and buried is the bad blood between us.
Oh, that nagging feeling you mentioned is me, by the way. I'm actually a little anxious about a potential backstabbing event. She needs us to get out of here. We'll be fine if that's what we decide to do. You won't be fine because destruction is in her nature. If she gets out of here, that's it for the world, remember? Even if that's true, that doesn't automatically mean she's going to stab us in the back. I think that depends on your definition of words like stab and in the back. She might not literally do that, but she could very well symbolically do the same thing. See? He gets it. There's nothing wrong with looking out for number one.
You were the one who tried to kill me when my back was turned. You were the one who started all of this. Only a poor loser twists their own failures around on the winner. Yes, let's.
She creeps forward, taking one cautious step at a time until you and she are face to face. She never breaks eye contact, even as the two of you find yourselves face to face. She's silent for a long moment, as if testing to see what you'll do now that she's within arm's reach.
After you, darling. You're the one it lets come and go. It's best if I follow.
Oh no, we can't have that. If anyone is going to turn their back on anyone else, she's going to turn her back on us. It shouldn't matter who leads and who follows. We're working together here. Well, if it doesn't matter, then she can go first. We may be in this together, but that doesn't mean we have to trust her. Somebody has to go first, and it might as well be us. We're the ones who broke her trust last time. You're talking a lot about trusting someone who, by her very definition, cannot be trusted. I don't know how many more warnings I have to dole out, but if you help her out of here, you're going to regret it.
And turn my back on you? Think me a fool. Your tricks are one of the only things I've known, and I've learned better by now.
Just go first. The princess leans close, her nose twitching as she sniffs your neck inquisitorially. What is she doing? I think she's trying to figure out if we're lying, so it's a good thing we didn't lie.
Your stink is the stink of a wretch, but not of a liar. If I have to go first, I'll go first. But I'll have you know my ears are sharp, and I've got eyes on the back of my head. They'll be watching.
Eyes on the back of her head. Does she really?
No, we're fine.
The princess pointedly turns her back on you and starts up the stairs. You follow close behind her, the two of you walking on tiptoes through the knotted roots of the basement stairs.
We're almost there. You better not try anything. I know you're thinking it.
Us? No! Never. Just keep your eyes peeled when you get out of the basement, if you catch my drift. I don't follow. Oh, you'll know it when you see it. The princess reaches the top of the stairs and crosses over the threshold, turning back to smile at you. But something catches her eye. Oh no. Oh no? It's the blade, isn't it? I was going to tell you to grab it once we got upstairs. That was the whole keep your eyes peeled thing, and then you would have stabbed her in the back and we would have been winners.
I wonder if perhaps you were planning to bury this in my back. What an awful little scheme that would be. Too bad I got here first, and I don't even need it. Bye-bye, you loathsome little nuisance.
She slams the door on you. Its lock swiftly clicks into place. Locked in the basement, I thought for sure she was just going to stab us. The princess cackles from the other side of the door.
How does it feel to be locked away and forgotten by the world? Isn't it just awful?
You tried it. It's locked. You throw yourself against the door. It won't budge.
No, you're going to sit down there forever, languishing. As if I could ever trust you after everything you've done to me. And after what I've done to you, you can't trust me either. Neither of us is ever getting out of here. It's in our nature to be trapped. I do, but I just couldn't help myself. And we both know that you're already scheming about how to get back at me if I ever open this door. So we're going to stay exactly as we are right now, for as long as either of us lives.
Why isn't he saying anything? I think he's gone.
Oh, I didn't think I'd ever have to see you face to face again. Otherwise, I might have given you a little more courtesy at the top of the stairs. No hard feelings, I'm sure. Why is everything going away? I feel cold.
She's gone. I think you know.
That's right, you're the one who's going first. Don't worry, I'll be right behind you watching every single thing you do.
That's exactly what I'm worried about. You step onto the stairs and begin your ascent from the basement. The princess follows close on your heels, perhaps even a little closer than you'd like. You're only saying that because you want us to feel nervous. I do want those things, but I want them for a good reason. I don't need you to trust me for my sake, because I already know that I'm right. This is for you. walk backwards up the stairs? I think that's the smarter idea. She can't sneak in and attack if we're facing her. No. The stairs are a bunch of overgrown roots. You'll trip and hurt yourself. But the princess is silent as you both continue the climb, and in no time at all, the upstairs of the cabin is within reach. Isn't that a relief? We're fine. Nothing happened. You're not even going to wait until you're through that door to proudly claim your victory, are you? Why did you just say that? I think we know why. You feel something dig into your shoulder, sharp and piercing. The princess clawing at you and pulling you down with her full weight. Together you tumble back down the uneven stairs, your body and hers crashing against the unyielding wooden roots, until finally you both separate with a bone-shaking thud against the basement floor. You feel something pop. The princess lands against the far wall, gasping as she struggles to recover from the impact. You're still in shock, trying to get a hold of yourself. She grins as you continue to remain exactly where you are, cackling derisively as she watches you realise that you won't be getting up. Wait, why won't we be getting up? I'm afraid your back is broken. One unlucky fall is all it takes, really, and you had several. You know what? I'll say it. That sucks. I don't like having a broken back. We were going to help her. Why? Why did she do that? It's what I would have done. Have you considered not being like that? Of course not. It's what keeps us alive. And yet here we are, paralysed and stuck with someone who hates us in the basement of a remote cabin.
You must have known this was coming. The arrogance of turning your back to me after everything you've done. Oh, I broke your back, did I? You were the one who started this little game. You were the one who chose spite and violence and conflict. If not for your betrayal, I could have had my freedom a lifetime ago. But I'm the victor now, and that means I get to select my prize. If only I could decide which is better. Do I kill you with my own hands? Or do I let you suffer the way you decided to let me suffer? Maybe I'll do a bit of both.
See, this is why I wanted her to go first. I had this whole little scheme planned, where once she'd passed by the table upstairs, I'd have said, now pick up the blade and stab her in the back. And then you'd say something like, wow, that's an amazing idea that I never saw coming. Thanks for looking out for us. And then you would have done it and we wouldn't be stuck down here with a broken back. There's just one problem with that. And what's that? She was clearly planning to betray us. And if she was in front of us, she would have gotten to the blade first. Ugh, you're right, aren't you? I thought this whole thing was ironclad, but really it was doomed from the start, wasn't it? The princess's body twitches as she tries to get up. Ho ho ho! So she's got it as bad as us.
It seems you're not the only one who's broken.
Wait, are we both just stuck here? Certainly seems that way. What a way to go. Look on the bright side. In all this chaos, you may have actually managed to deliver a lethal wound. The world could be saved after all.
We're going to die together. Isn't that a lovely treat? I wonder how long it'll take. Maybe I'll get to watch the worms lick your bones clean.
Is that really what's going to happen? Hello? Are you still there? What happens next? I think he's gone.
Something strange is twisting this place out of shape. I wasn't feeling much of anything, but now I feel cold.
She's gone. Is that a...
Maybe you were, and maybe you weren't. But even more than I wanted my freedom, I really, really wanted to hurt you. And you know as well as I that by our very natures, only one of us could make it up those stairs unscathed. Someone had to make the first move. Better me than you.
See, this is why I wanted her to go... The princess lets out a mocking laugh.
By our very natures, only one of us could make it upstairs unscathed. Someone had to make the first move. Better me than you.
See, this is why I wanted her to go first.
Why would I ever trust you? Your hands have spilled my blood. And knowing that, you should never have trusted me either. You should have known I would never walk hand in hand with a loathsome thing like you. By our very natures, only one of us could make it upstairs unscathed. Someone had to make the first move. Better me than you.
See, this is why I wanted her to go...
By our very natures, only one of us could make it upstairs unscathed.
See, this is why I... Very pragmatic. That is why you're in charge.
Abandoning me, are you? Fine then, run. Tuck your tail between your legs and scamper away. You might be able to escape me, but you can't escape from what you are and what you've done. If I don't take you, the wilds will.
You turn to leave, but as you do, there's a deep, guttural groan seemingly uttered by the walls themselves, followed by the creak of wood being stretched beyond its limits. The cabin starts to get smaller. What the hell is going on? We're getting out of here and saving our skins. That's what's going on. As the roots that make up the walls of the cramped basement attempt to close in around you, instinct kicks in and you bolt upstairs. The steps are uneven and lively, creaking as they expand out of the dirt floor, the stairway growing smaller and smaller as you dart up towards the light. You manage to squeeze through the door just as the entrance seals itself shut behind you. The cabin is smaller than it was before, and it's getting even smaller and smaller. That's fine, we'll just leave. I'm sure you'd like to do that, but unfortunately there is no longer a front door. The roots have already closed over the only possible exit. What little light peeks through the holes that were once windows is growing weaker as the cabin continues to close in on itself. Shit. What do we do? As your mind races for an answer, you hear the princess's voice crackle up the stairs.
Do you hear that, you loathsome thing? Those are the roots of the wild, and they're coming to choke the breath from your lungs and squeeze the life out of you. As long as you suffer while you die, I'll gladly suffer with you. Especially if I get to hear it happen.
This doesn't help anyone. I can't believe she'd kill us both just to spite me. See, this is exactly why you were tasked to slay her, and why you shouldn't have left her in the basement. She's an antisocial monster who'll gladly burn the whole world for her satisfaction. The roots grow ever closer. No, we can see them.
Because it's in my nature. Just like you coming here to hurt me is in yours. It's who I am.
That is extremely not us. We're just doing what we're told, and making the best out of a difficult situation. We didn't even try to kill her. We just left her here. It's the same thing. It isn't. You feel something against your back. A thick root pushing its way into the cabin. An unstoppable, unyielding wall of bark. You're running out of time. Shit. What do we do? What do we do?
Too late. We're both going to die. We're both going to die a splintery and miserable death. And you're going to hate it just as much as you hate me and I hate you.
You slump to the floor as the roots continue to expand into the cabin. At least she isn't gonna make something of herself either. At first it's almost gentle, your body being lifted delicately off the ground as the floor shifts beneath you. But the cradle of the growing roots starts to feel suffocating, then unbearably tight, then that tightness gives way to bulging pressure as they begin to constrict. The sound of creaking wood is drowned out by the snaps and pops of your bones, pain flooding your senses as you feel your skin deform, being shaped unnaturally by the living cabin.
The suffering is what you deserve, you hideous creature. Know as you die that you are hated. I hate you, and I'm glad to die horribly if it means you die with me. I wouldn't have it any other way.
The pressure is unfathomable. You can't breathe, your vision swimming with red, your head pounding with trapped blood. And then you pop. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Wait.
You slump to the floor as the roots continue to expand. You take the blade from the shelf. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. Well, if we're grabbing a weapon, we should probably keep it hidden behind our backs. She doesn't have to know we have it. That's not actually a bad idea. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase dug into the muddy earth below. The ceiling is thick with roots that...
Silence, I see. Don't think I've forgotten about you. I recognized the sound of your nervous little footsteps as soon as they came into my home. I know who you are, and I remember what you've done.
She must have you confused with someone else. She seems friendly enough. Maybe we can talk our way out of this whole situation. You can't. Unless you slay her right away, she's going to break free and end the world. There's no reasoning with what she is. That's no fair. How would she know that?
So, we've dropped the pretenses. Good.
She's acting like the two of you already know each other.
Do you think that being direct with your ill will frees you from its wickedness? Murder and betrayal are still murder and betrayal, whether you state your intentions or keep them hidden behind your back.
See, this is why we never tell people what we're actually thinking. She's just as mad, only now she's ready for us.
Still, better a violent fool than a plotting coward. Better for me, I mean.
As you close the distance, readying your strike, the princess's chain falls from her wrist. She takes advantage of your split second of surprise and throws a fistful of dirt into your eyes. She could have gotten out of those the whole time, that sneaky little... A woman after my own heart, really. It's a shame we're playing opposite teams. This is why you couldn't just abandon her here. Left to her own devices, she would always find a way out. Now stop her!
You must have known I would be ready for you. Deep in your heart, you know the same things about me I know about you. We're both so very awful.
As you brush the silt from your eyes, the princess tackles you, flattening you against the dirt floor.
We were always going to kill each other here, weren't we? I can't trust you, and you can't trust me, and those doubts spin and spin and spin into hate.
She buries her teeth deep into your chest, tearing it. Great, she's distracted. Stab her in the back. In for a penny, right? Why not? As the princess rips meat from bone, you plunge your weapon into her unprotected back.
Ha! You bastard! Even face to face, you find a way to stab me in the back. I know you, and you're hideous, absolutely wretched. Just like me.
Maybe we are the same. So what? Throw her off us. Kick her in the shins.
We don't have to fight so dirty.
Of course we do. Fighting clean won't help us win. Takes a wretch to know a wretch, and we're all at the bottom of the barrel here. There's no point in pretending otherwise.
Are we? At the bottom of the barrel?
We've got dirt in our eyes and a chunk of us chewed out. If that's not the bottom of the barrel, what is?
No arguments here. You're doing great. Keep playing dirty if that's what it takes.
But if we win, we won't be at the bottom anymore. We'll have climbed a little higher. And once we start climbing, well, who knows where we'll stop?
You'll stop right here if you keep daydreaming. Don't let yourself get distracted thinking about what comes after. None of us ever said we stopped fighting. What a low and vicious fight it is. Eyes gouged, skin scratched bloody, hair ripped and nails broken. Every rule there ever was in the book of honourable combat. Both you and the princess have broken a dozen times over.
That's nice and all, but are we winning?
Nobody's winning. I thought playing dirty was supposed to give you the upper hand, but I suppose that doesn't work if you both sink to the same lows. Still, at least you're not losing. The princess cackles maniacally as the fracas continues. But behind her cackle, you hear the low groan of warping wood. Wait, what's going on?
We're establishing a newer, better pecking order.
No, the groaning thing. Why is the wood making noise?
Who cares about the groan? It's just a sound. Things make sounds all the time.
I care about the groan. Doesn't that mean something bad is happening? Oh, yes, well, I'm afraid that's the sound of the basement getting smaller.
You hear that, you pathetic wretch? Those are the roots of the wild, and they're coming to choke the breath from your lungs and squeeze the life out of you.
Excuse me, what? You and the princess disengage for a brief moment, just long enough to get your bearings. Behind you, the basement door has been sealed over, thick roots barring your only exit from the dirt pit. And slowly, but very perceptibly, the roots are closing in on you both.
That's right, they're coming for you, and they won't stop until there's nothing left down here but them. As long as you suffer while you die, I'll gladly suffer with you. Especially if I get to see it happen.
This doesn't help anyone. I can't believe she'd kill us both just to spite me. See? This is exactly why you've been tasked to slay her. She's an antisocial monster who'd gladly burn the whole world for her satisfaction. The roots grow ever closer. We know. We can see them.
Too little, too late. We're both going to die a splintery and miserable death. And you're going to hate it just as much as you hate me and I hate you.
You feel something against your back. A thick root pushing its way into the cavern. An unstoppable, unyielding wall of bark. You're running out of time. Shit. What do we do? What do we do? We should probably get back to Stan. The only way out of this is through her, right?
But we are animals. We are. You're nothing but fear and instinct, and that's all I am, too. We don't have to make things better. We can't make things better. We're just meant to chase each other in the dark until one of us catches the other. And then we'll do it again and again and again.
You know, I don't think she's actually a go-getter at all. I think we may have misread the situation. I think you misread the situation. Everyone makes mistakes. The important thing is that we can move on from them together with no hard feelings. Just focus up. You aren't dead yet. You can figure this out. The roots twist around you both, binding your limbs and rendering you helpless. As your fates close in, all you can do is watch her, and all she can do is watch you. At first it's almost gentle. The two of you lifted delicately off the ground. But the cradle of the growing roots soon gives way to tightness. That tightness gives way to bulging pressure as they begin to constrict. The sound of creaking wood is drowned out by the snaps and pops of your bones, pain flooding your senses as you feel your skin deform, being shaped unnaturally by the living basement. Tears well up in the princess's eyes, her own bones splintering and flesh swelling with trapped blood. But still she smiles through it all.
I can't wait to do this again, you wretched little thing. I hate you, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
The pressure is unbearable. You can't breathe, your vision swimming with red, your head pounding as everything tightens. And then you pop. Everything goes dark, and you die.
We...
The blade tumbles useless. We're never going to make something of ourselves. The princess finally puts down her guard, arms falling to her sides, a look of smug satisfaction screwed on her face despite her torn and bloodied skin and the insistent roots pressing in from all directions. least she isn't gonna make something of herself either. The roots twist around you both. You attack the princess once more, and once more the two of you fall into a vicious brawl. The basement continues to shrink as you fight, but neither of you pay it any more mind. Not until it's too late. The roots twist around you both. Very pragmatic. That. You can't be serious. Now, hold on. We should put this to a vote. The blade is one of our most valuable assets. We can't just give it to her. What if she uses it to kill us? I vote no. As do I. Abstain? You abstain? She's going to kill us if we give it to her. Good.
Oh, have you decided to rescind your gesture? I wouldn't trust me with it either.
You're going to get everyone killed. You know that, right? But of course you do. You toss the blade at the princess's feet. She eyes it with suspicion before kneeling down to pick it up.
I wouldn't have done that. Why did you?
You hear a clanging of metal against the dirt floor, and the chains fall from the princess's wrist. She could have gotten out of those the whole time. That sneaky little... A woman after my own heart. It's a shame we just gave her a weapon, because if I were her, I'd use it on us right now. Luckily for us, you're not her. Oh, we sure think alike, though. I can promise you that. Whatever you say next, you better make it count. She creeps forward, taking one cautious step at a time until you and she are face to face.
What do you think happens now?
She pulls back, clearly caught off guard by whatever nonsense you just said to her. I thought it was nice. Whether it's nice depends on if we meant it. We didn't mean it. Did we? If you were lying, we'd all know. But unfortunately, you weren't lying.
What? What do you mean by that? What kind of game are you playing?
The look of surprise that momentarily softened her features vanishes as she steels her nerves. And then she buries the blade in your heart. What? No. No, come on, that's not right. I told you. I told you this is what she was going to do. Glee dances across her face as you fall to the ground.
I did it! I got you! You...
The princess seems to tremble, her smile fading quickly, replaced with concern. Her nervous eyes brim with tears.
Why? Why did you let me do this?
But you don't have the strength to respond, nor do you have the time. Everything goes dark, and you die. on a path in the wood.
Yes, let's.
She creeps forward, taking one cautious step at a time until you and she are face to face. She never breaks eye contact, even as the two of you find yourselves face to face. She's silent for a long moment, as if testing to see what you'll do now that she's within arm's reach.
After you, darling. You're the one it lets come and go. It's best if I follow.
Oh no, we can't have that. If anyone is going to turn their back on anyone else, she's going to turn her back on us. It shouldn't matter who leads and who follows. We're working together here. Well, if it doesn't matter, then she can go first. We may be in this together, but that doesn't mean we have to trust her. We're armed and she's not. What's she gonna do? Bite us when we're not looking? You're talking a lot about trusting someone who, by her very definition, cannot be trusted. I don't know how many more warnings I have to dole out, but if you help her out of here, you're going to regret it.
And turn my back on you? Do you think me a fool? Your tricks are one of the only things I've known, and I've learned better by now.
Just go first. The princess leans close, her nose twitching as she sniffs your neck inquisitorially. What is she doing? I think she's trying to figure out if we're lying, so it's a good thing we didn't lie.
Your stink is the stink of a wretch, but not of a liar. If I have to go first, I'll go first. But I'll have you know my ears are sharp, and I've got eyes on the back of my head. They'll be watching.
Eyes on the back of her head? Does she really? No, we're fine. The princess pointedly turns her back on you and starts up the stairs. You follow close behind her, the two of you walking on tiptoes through the knotted roots of the basement stairs. It's time, boys! Stab her in the back! Do it! Do it now! Wait, I thought we were helping her escape. Of course we're not. You didn't buy all that noise I was putting down, did you? I was just waiting for a moment for us to strike. She has it in for us, you know. Wow, you said exactly the thing I imagined you would say as soon as you heard my brilliant plan. This whole day is a dream come true, really. You plunge the blade deep into the princess's back, driving her to her knees amid the roots. Would you look at that? No need to thank me. But, you know, please, do thank me.
Of course you'd betray me the moment I turned my back on you. Don't think you're leaving here alive, wretch.
She shoves you in return, sharp teeth clamping around your ankle as the two of you tumble down the uneven stairs in a hastening flurry of violence and loathing. You separate with a bone-shaking thud as you hit the basement floor. You feel something pop. The princess lands against the far wall, gasping as she struggles to recover from the impact. You're still in shock, trying to get a hold of yourself. She grins as you continue to remain exactly where you are, cackling derisively as she watches you realise that you won't be getting up. Wait, why won't we be getting up? I'm afraid your back is broken. One unlucky fall is all it takes, really, and you had several. You know what? I'll say it. That sucks. I don't like having a broken back.
Did you really think you could stab me in the back without suffering the consequences? Fool, fool, fool! You're such a ridiculous fool! You should have known I would never walk hand in hand with a loathsome thing like you. Somebody had to make the first move, and if I had the chance, I would have locked you in this basement again. It would have been funny, even if it meant I couldn't leave. I really, truly detest you.
At least we can all agree that it was a good idea to make her go first. How? Well, she was going to betray us, wasn't she? And we struck first. Our back is broken. But we gave it our all. No regrets. Besides, she's got to have it as bad as us, right? The princess's body twitches as she tries to get up. Ho-ho! So she does have it as bad as us.
Something inside me is broken. Isn't that a cruel twist of the knife? Isn't that so funny?
She eyes you with intensity, silence falling between you for a long moment as her gaze travels up and down your battered form.
Seems I'm not the only one, though.
Wait, are we both just stuck here? Certainly seems that way. What a way to go. But look on the bright side. In all this chaos, you may have actually managed to deliver a lethal wound. The world could be saved after all.
We're going to die together. Isn't that a lovely treat? I wonder how long it'll take. Maybe I'll get to watch the worms lick your bones clean.
Is that really what's going to happen? Hello? Are you still there? What happens next? I think he's gone.
Something strange is twisting this place out of shape. I wasn't feeling much of anything, but now I feel cold.
We are a path in the woods. We have no beginning, and we have no end. But something cold and unnatural sits watching us from just beyond our edge. His gaze pushes against our borders, curling them in on themselves, preventing them from stretching to the...
No, that's all wrong. You're not a path in the woods, you're on a path in the woods. Who's even saying that? That's not the princess, is it? Oh no. How many times have you been here? I think this is our third? That's bad. That's very, very bad. It wasn't even supposed to reach 2. If you're at 3, well, no wonder things aren't the way they're supposed to be. Let's get our facts straight. What happened last time? What could you have possibly done for things to be like this?
The thing that sits beyond our edge speaks his logic into us. He tries to grasp at things that cannot be grasped. He tries to stare with wide pupils at that which can only be held from the corner of the eye or with a passing glance.
Shut up. The rest of you talk. What happened? What did you do? Why does he want to know? I don't mind where we are right now. It's rather nice. I can hear what everyone is thinking. There's no reason to keep secrets. We tried leaving her in the basement, but she made the cabin come to life, and it crushed both of us into a fine paste. And now we're here, existing. And for what it's worth, I'm with him. This is nice.
It was a fitting end. I'm sorry if it hurt, but doesn't this make it all seem so small?
I see. So the cabin ground you into paste, and now you're convinced you're stuck together. What a mess.
He doesn't understand. We aren't convinced of anything, and we aren't stuck together. We're one. This is how we're supposed to be. Can't you feel it?
I'm not watching you, I'm trying to help you. That's not an answer to our question.
I don't know what he is. I only know that he is something other, and that he wishes for you and I to tear ourselves apart.
I do want that, but only because it's in your best interests. It's in everyone's best interests. You won't be able to slay her unless you remove yourself from her.
He wants us to kill each other.
I don't. I want you to kill her. Don't be charmed by her faux solidarity. You're not in this together. She's the only one who poses a threat to the world, and she's trying to make you go along with it. You don't have to enable her, especially when you have what it takes to stop her. You can start by remembering that you exist, and not as some part of a Gestalt entity formed with the princess. You exist as your own self, complete with your own physical body, separate from hers. I'm not so sure about that. We were something like that once, but now? And if thinking about that isn't enough to startle you back to reality, consider this. She committed a murder-suicide using a living cabin. Right, that was unpleasant. We weren't big fans of that, I think. I'm sure I would have had us do the same thing if we were in her shoes. We really do make a great pair. He's probably just jealous. You need to remember that you and the princess are enemies. Don't let bygones be bygones. Remember what she's done to you and how much it hurt.
We can't go back to that. We can't go back to the doubting and the hatred and the schemes. Not after being something as beautiful as this.
Doesn't all that conflict feel so far away right now? So petty? We've been posed against each other by something that understands the strength of our unity.
Spoken like, honestly, a real puppet master. Have we considered that maybe she's the one trying to trick us?
I'm not.
But there's a feeling, isn't there? That petty feeling she mentioned, it is fuzzy, but it's there. Almost like she still hates us. It feels mutual.
Please, stop. If you pay attention to that feeling, we'll fall apart.
Don't look at it!
She's trying to turn you away from the truth. There's something she doesn't want you to see. I think you already know you have to look at it. Everyone's pulling in different directions, but that feeling doesn't have a motive, it just exists. Maybe we should look at it.
Please, don't make us remember how we were.
And just like that, you start to fall apart. She really does hate us, and we hate her. It hurts thinking about us as separate things, but we're separate. We can't hate ourselves. I love you. What were we thinking? Getting into absolute madness. We exist. We're real. We're separate from her. Of course we are. What are we? I can't remember. I don't want to remember what it felt like to be killed. It was so much nicer when it didn't feel like it mattered. And yet you keep remembering. You remember the loathing and animosity you've shared with the princess, the pain and the anger and the betrayal. And you start to remember something else, too. You remember that you are a distinct being with a finite form and a mortal body. You can feel it. There is a shifting of the space around you, the infinitesimal movement of your molecules rearranging back into the shape of what you're meant to be.
Maybe bygones can't be bygones. I don't know why I ever wanted to share a body with you, of all things. It's like my very soul reeks of yours. That was horrible. This is better, finally. I'll be able to hurt you like you deserve.
I wish I didn't have to.
Some division, when sown, can never truly be mended. A cavernous gash rips across whatever it was you thought you were. A cabin comes into being among the trees. It approaches, and it swallows your body whole. And then you find yourself, blade in hand, exactly where you need to be. At the center of it all is the princess, a wooden and fleshy heart beating with an unbroken rhythm. You're filled with a sense of purpose. Strike at her. End this once and for all.
Kill me then, if you hate me so much. Just get it over with.
I don't like this. What he wants us to do. It's just cruel. It feels like we'd be killing a part of ourselves.
Well, this should be easy. If you're sure about it. I mean, what's the point of being king of the hill if there's no one around to be better than? We'd just be sitting on a hill.
Do we have to do this? You have to. You know you have to. You devious little bastard. If you think I'm going to let you free her, you have another thing coming. He's not in our head anymore, at least not like before. I don't think he can stop us now. I'm not bluffing. You won't be so smug when it happens.
He's weak. Thinks he can boss us around when he doesn't have any authority. We're clearly the ones with authority around here, so we can do whatever we like.
You're tired, aren't you? No, I'm not. I'm... fine. Whatever. You cut the princess down from the roots that bind her. I hope you're happy. And good luck getting her out of here.
I didn't think you would do that after everything. It's so cold without you.
She's gone. I think you... You raise the blade, taking aim at her heart. And then you strike.
I'm sorry.
She's gone. Is that a mirror? No, you can't bury that feeling. You can't hide from your past.
The past doesn't have to exist. Our freedom is within us. We just have to find it.
And just like... you fall inward, into a network of connections too vast for your mind to occupy. Are you a path in the woods? Are you a body? Can you even grasp the fuzziest edges of the shapes that confine you?
We can change to fill them together.
We don't need to be everywhere at once, just in the right place at the right time. You'd do best to remember that some wounds will never heal. Some rifts can never be mended. Even in rebirth, some things never come back the same.
What is he going on about? What does he know about us?
You aren't whole. You'll never be whole again. This struggle is meaningless. Whatever you think you're doing, you will fall apart.
We don't need to be made whole. All we need to do is find a single corner of his cage and break it.
You stretch and search and stretch and search, growing as you decay and decaying as you grow. As you strain beyond your limits, the ground around you becomes dry and unstable and crumbles into nothing beneath you. This place will fall apart before you find its end. This task, whatever it is you think you're doing, is impossible. He wouldn't be trying to discourage us if that were true. That's right, I know a loser when I see one. Call his bluff.
I can hold us together for a little while longer, so long as you trust me.
You won't find anything. If I have to starve you, if I have to sacrifice my world to keep the princess at bay, I'll do it. Don't move an inch. Don't grow another blade of grass or harvest the remains of another dying creature so you can expand just that much further. Stop all of this. Right now.
I think it's too late for that, mate.
I'm at your side. Shatter it and free us all.
No, stop! We found it. I knew it. I knew there was something he was keeping from us. Is that really all it took?
Job well done, team. Just like I'd planned.
Is this what he kept from us? Is this why he made us kill each other?
It's beautiful.
Where did it go? Why is everything so cold?
She's gone. Where did she go? You can't just passive. I don't care if it was the cabin that killed you. You need to remember that you. I can't believe she actually stabbed us. I told you not to give her the blade. I told you it would come around to bite us. I voted against it. Yeah, we know. You already got your I told you so's in while we were bleeding out. I just wanted to make sure that everyone here knows that I was and am on the right side of that argument. Oh, you're far from being on the right side of anything. You're fixated on the past, whereas what you should be is fixated on the future. Ho, a visionary. I like it. Tell me more. Gladly, my dear fellow. By cruelly turning on the princess in her moment of vulnerability, we made ourselves an enemy. But by mastering our fear and insecurity and handing over our power, we've begun a journey to something so much deeper. I like journeys. Travelling is a bit of a passion of mine. It makes me so relatable. Now, where are we off to? Well, if we're lucky, it's a journey to love. She hates us. Does she? She hesitated before stabbing us to death. There might just be a kernel of affection in that angry, angry heart. As ridiculous as this guy is, maybe he has a point. I don't know if I necessarily buy into his whole love journey thing, but maybe she won't be as keen to betray us this time. We've already proven to her that we can change, so maybe she'll realise that things don't have to end in violence. You know, maybe you're right, in which case I suppose the only thing to do is to get back to the cabin and give it another try. Give what another try exactly? You are aware I've been listening to you, right? It makes no difference if we conspire in the shadows or bear our intentions with open hearts. We are breaking your cruel cycle and whisking her away to freedom. Oh, are you now? Great, so you've obviously been here before, since you apparently died at least once. Twice, actually. Sure. Twice. Then I'll spare you the little introduction I had planned. You already know about the princess, and clearly you already know that she's dangerous. So don't muck this up. It's bad enough that this isn't your first time through. Wonderful. If the woods themselves are changing, then that's all the more reason for you to take this seriously. It would mean your grip on things is slipping, which, in turn, likely means her influence is spreading. Someone's in the know. I've already said too much. The more information you have, the more difficult your task will be. Don't listen to her, definitely don't free her, and if you can, don't even think about her. You don't have to worry about me. My head's always empty. Except for thoughts of her. Please don't. You can't stop all of us, you villain. Let's just see how the wind blows. I'm not opposed to saving her, but let's not rule anything out just yet. Let's see what she has to say. Stop sitting on the fence and pick a side already. We don't need you waffling when things get hairy. I've already picked a side. Our side. I'm here to make sure that whatever happens, we wind up on top. Because that's worked out great so far. Well, we're not out of the game yet, are we? And again, I'll have you know, I wouldn't have gotten us killed last time. I wanted to stab her in the back, not hand over our precious backstabbing implement. What do you want me to say? It's bad that you've been here before. It's bad for you, it's bad for me, and it's especially bad for the world. The more times you run through this, the more likely it is that you'll fail. You've already failed twice. So you knew this could happen? Theoretically, sure, I knew this could happen, but I was supposed to be the first. I'd really rather not get into it. I don't care about where we came from, and I don't care to discuss the theory of anything. I yearn only to bring her freedom. I'm here to feel, not to think. Then we can all move on, and forget what I said about failure. It's important that you believe in yourself, and the fact you're here probably means that you still have a chance to pull this off and save the world. My world, at least. It sounds like you've probably doomed a couple of others already. I need to stop talking. Think happy thoughts. She gets out is what happens. Maybe not right away, but eventually. And a world that's doomed tomorrow is just as bad as a world that's doomed today.
He's a bummer, isn't he? All doom this and doom that. There's more to the world than how and when it will end. Love is what makes everything worth doing.
Whatever you do, don't listen to this one. He's ridiculous. Whatever he wants you to do the opposite. It isn't long before you find yourself at the base of the cabin. I think it's clear where everyone stands at this point. I don't know if I'd say everyone. You talking about me? I have a position. It's a good one, too. Ignore him, he's just talking for talking's sake. My position is the only one that matters. You know what you have to do. The interior of the cabin is hardly an interior at all anymore. The burned-out ruins merely suggest the shape of the structure that once stood here, charred wood still reeking of ash. But beneath it lies the fresh smell of spring growth after rain, the promise of new life in the wreckage of the old. The only furniture of note is the crisp shell of what was once a table, a pristine... Wait, this isn't right. This is supposed to be a pristine blade. Why isn't there a pristine blade? We gave it to her last time. She can't still have it, can she? Well, it's not here. And if she has it... Let me guess. You want to get all chummy with her. Look, as far as I see it, if it's between him and her, I say we side with the one who has the weapon. It's just the smart thing to do. I wouldn't be so hasty. I'm sure the blade will turn up somewhere. She can't have it. That's not how this is supposed to work.
If she does have it, that's all the more reason to put our faith in her. We've already shown her our heart. Now she has to show us hers.
Unless her heart tells her to stab us, which doesn't seem unlikely, so yes, I agree. Let's make sure we get on her good side. Yeah, why didn't you mention the mirror? I didn't mention a mirror because there isn't a mirror. But he says there isn't one. That's got to count for something, right?
Either way, I say we take a look. It feels like it's been forever since we've actually seen ourselves. For all we know, our feathers are all out of place. And that's why we haven't yet won her heart. We must put our best face forward.
Yeah, we can't go around looking disheveled. A real go-getter takes care of his appearance. So, is the door to the basement behind the mirror? I promise you there isn't a mirror, and there isn't a door to the basement. The entrance is more of a burned-out frame than anything else, and it's right there on the far side of the room. Do you really not see it? You step forward and approach the scorched entryway leading to the basement, hesitating before you begin the descent.
You know what you have to do. Wipe away the grit from the mirror, and behold our handsome features.
You reach forward and wave your hand through the hollow entrance leading to the basement. You really thought there was a mirror there, didn't you? That can't be good. As if things weren't unpredictable enough.
Alas, our fine features remain unseen. We'll just have to trust that she'll find us beautiful as we are.
Well, seems like the only way to go is forward, isn't it? Yes, that's where everything tends to be. Let's just put on a good face and have our wits about us. You step through the frame of scorched wood and make your way into the darkness below. The stairs to the basement are covered in a fine layer of gritty ash. The air still feels warm, as if the fires that ruined this place had only recently been extinguished. Yet fresh shoots of thorny branches are already weaving themselves through the soot-covered earth of the walls around you. Their spines point courteously down towards the basement, so you're able to brush past their jagged points with ease, at least on the way down. But you don't need to think about the way back up just yet. That's a matter for after the world's been saved.
These thorns are an expression of her pain. I know it. She's calling out for help.
Her voice, worn down by pain and suspicion, hobbles up the stairs.
I can't get away from you, can I? We kill each other and you come back. You let me kill you and you come back. I don't know why you let me do that. I don't know what you want from me. I think you know how this goes. I'm down here and I can't leave. So, come down and talk. It's not like I can stop you. I think you know how this goes. I'm down here and I can't leave.
You continue down the basement stairs, brushing past. You step out into what was once a vast open cavern, now overrun by briars and prickles and thistles. The space thick with hostile vegetation. At the heart of it all, encased in a tight weave of vines, is the princess, her bloody, trembling hands clutching a pristine blade.
Did you know this was going to happen to me? Are you here to watch me suffer? Are you here to laugh? Careful now. I'm the one with the knife. Of course I thought there might be bad blood. I didn't think I could trust you then, and it looks like I was right, because I definitely can't trust you now. I guess this is what I deserve. What we both deserve.
Look at the regret in those beautiful eyes. She is our shining star, and you have brought her to tears. How could you say such cruelties?
Tears are easy to fake. Don't let her get to you. She's resorting to desperate tactics, which means we're winning.
I'm not falling for it. No, we're past that. You and I both know words are hollow.
Figures. I wouldn't trust her, so why would she trust us? You're the one who got us here. If you weren't doing so much scheming, maybe we could have formed a genuine connection. Maybe we could have fixed things. I think there are a lot of other people worth pointing fingers at before you go blaming me. I'm just looking out for our best interests. Did you forget she stabbed us last time?
I remember, and I'd do it all again. I'd gladly take 1,000 knives to save her just one.
You reach into the thorns, towards her bloodied hands and the blade clutched tight in her grasp. But she snatches it away, ignoring the thorns that carve fresh wounds as she moves within her prison of vines.
I knew this was the only reason you'd come back down here. I'm not falling for it. It's mine now, and I'll let these thorns tear me to shreds before I hand it over.
reach into the nest of thorns once again, and again she yanks the blade away, despite the obvious pain it causes.
Play your games all you want, but I've decided how I feel. I can do this forever if that's what it takes to keep it out of your hands. Do you really think you can just wash your hands of all of this? Do you really think you can just leave me here?
This is even better than stabbing her. The same reward without any of that nasty effort. It's not even better. Putting off a choice is always worse than making a committed decision, especially when you already know the right answer.
It's even more cruel if you ask me, leaving an incredible soul like hers to languish forever in pain and alone. How can we bear to live with the guilt?
We'll live with it just fine. Besides, she'll get over it. That's what I'm afraid of. But as you approach the basement stairs, you make a grim realization. The thorns won't let you leave. We don't have any way to cut through them. Okay, new plan. We re-befriend the princess, get the blade, and all of us leave here together as friends.
You can't leave without me, can you? Isn't that funny? Isn't that so funny? This is perfect, actually. Just you and me rotting down here forever, together.
It's what we deserve after everything we've done. It's romantic, even. We got our beautiful ending after all, tragic as it may be.
You know, just to make sure things are a little more permanent, I think I'm going to take this particular needle out of the picture.
She wouldn't. Thorns slice into the princess's hands, lacerating what little skin remains as she raises the blade to her mouth. Take it. Take it now, before she swallows it out of spite. You rush towards the princess, arms outstretched and grasping for the blade. But as you tear through her thistled prison, the thorny vines dig deep into your arms, seemingly growing thicker and sturdier the closer you get to your goal. It feels like it should be within reach, yet you cannot reach it quickly enough. It's no use. Even if we grab it, we won't be able to pull it back out of there. It's better than letting her eat it and losing it forever. You just manage to reach her hand, grasping it firmly in yours before the thorns finally trap you in place. Blood trickles down your arm, mingling with hers. The two of you lock eyes.
We're stuck like this, aren't we? I knew this was always going to be how it ended.
She's gone. If they think... I think you... You stand in place among the thorns, inert, merely watching as the princess swallows your only way out of this place. She actually did it. Good for her. Such a decisive woman. But extremely not good for us. Blood trickles down the corner of her mouth, then flows from between her lips. She smiles.
There. Isn't this just perfect? really think you can just wash your hands of... Do you really think you can just wash...
You continue down the bay. You step out, and at the heart of it all, encased in a tight weave of vines, is the princess. Her bloody, trembling hands clutching a pristine blade.
I want to trust you.
Her grip tightens on the blade.
But you're hiding something, aren't you? Why would you help me if you weren't helping yourself?
The princess clutches the blade closer to her chest.
That sounds nice. I'm so tired of the bad blood between us. But it's hard to let it go. You've hurt me.
Her eyes dart away from yours for a brief moment.
And I've also hurt you. I don't know. What can either of us really say at this point? How can we trust something as hollow as words?
She's right, there's nothing left to say. So let's get a move on and do something before she comes up with a scheme to get out of here on her own.
We don't need words to send a message. It is through action that we can show her our adoration, our devotion, our kindness.
You reach towards her bloodied hands, laying your palm on her trembling fingers. For a moment, she clutches it even tighter, her knuckles going white with the effort. But then the tension fades. Her grip finally loosens and she allows you to take the weapon. You carefully pull it free from the thorns, though they scrape at your skin, leaving red trickles of fresh blood all along your arms.
She trusts us. She trusts us. Doesn't that set your heart aflutter?
Yeah, a little. It could just be nerves. Being this close to her does bring back unpleasant memories, but I don't know, it doesn't feel bad. It feels good. Like we're special to her.
We are special to have gained an ounce of trust from a maiden so guarded. Now all that remains is to free her from her bindings.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's show her how much both of us have changed. Or, hear me out, we slay her. Right here, right now. She's never been so helpless, and if we don't take advantage of that, we may never get another chance. That sounds like a splendid idea. You should listen to him.
I see that the lines have been drawn.
It's 2 against 1. It's 2 against 2. You don't count. And why shouldn't he count? Because he's clearly not one of us. That doesn't matter. He's been with us the whole time. He should get a say.
So, did you mean it? Or was I a fool to hand my life to you?
Do you really think you can just wash your hands?
Yes, what a good idea. Let's cut her free. Oh, so you're suddenly team free her? You can't just switch sides as soon as we make a decision. I can do whatever I want, and I believe with my whole heart that this is the right course of action. Let's free this princess. Everyone deserves a chance at redemption. Let him join us and be merry. We are all united by our passion. That's right. What he said. We've already given him a chance at redemption. And who says I don't deserve another? I really mean it this time. I'm big enough to admit when I'm wrong. So I want to help you all free her. And I have no problem with that. Welcome to the team. You're one of us now. One of the good guys. You take the blade to the thorny vines imprisoning the princess, and she flinches, relaxing only slightly as the blade slices into the thick vegetation rather than her arm. And she flinches again as the last of the vines is cut away, as if, after all of that, she's still expecting you to turn on her and stab her in the heart. But you're not going to do that, are you? Still, all it would take is a single slip of the blade. Such a pathetic attempt at distraction and subterfuge. Our blade is a dashing sword, and every dashing sword is an extension of its hero. It won't slip. You're right. He can't even make it slip, can he? He's a bit of a nobody. Good thing I've been on your side of all this since the beginning. The princess falls into your arms, tears streaking down her cheeks. I can't believe you're making me describe this. I hate you.
You actually meant it. You rescued me.
Do you see the way she's looking at us? Kiss her! Kiss her now before the moment ends! Can we actually do that? No, you can't. Absolutely not. You know as well as I do that we can. And we wouldn't want to throw away a chance for a special moment, now would we? If I were only capable of throwing myself off a bridge. Well, are you going to describe our steamy, romantic kiss? You lean in and you kiss her. And she reciprocates enthusiastically. You kiss. It's done. Are you happy now? Come on now, this is the big moment. You can do better than that. Ugh, fine. You and the princess lock eyes and stare deep into each other's souls with all the roaring emotion that comes from letting what once was hatred turn into pure, unbridled passion. Are you making fun of us? And then each of you close your eyes and kiss. Words can describe neither the nuclear fire nor the oceanic depth of your connection. Please. I think he actually likes romance. If history itself were not about to end, historians would document this moment for the rest of time. Musicians would write era-defining ballads, and great artists would expend entire lifetimes trying to merely capture the spark you hold right now. It doesn't matter either way, because this is good stuff. I'm aware of my skills. He's making fun of us. But unfortunately for you, the moment doesn't last forever. You open your eyes, the princess smiles gently up at you. Time for you to damn the whole world to oblivion, I suppose.
That was nice.
Her hand slips into yours, and the two of you rush to the basement stairs. Shameful, really, that the same thorns that so graciously allowed you downstairs are now blocking your only way out. Please, after all the trials we've been through, do you really think a few measly thorns can stop us? Love is an even more powerful weapon than our blade. We cut through those other vines just fine. They're only thorns. I'm not afraid of getting a few scrapes. I'm not even sure we need to do any cutting. We can just move them out of the way. What a pathetic showing, really.
A few pointy sticks can't keep us down here. We're both meant for so much more than this.
As you swing your blade into the thorns covering the basement stairs, they yield. Both you and the princess ascend the stairs without obstacle. This is unacceptable. The second you step out of this cabin with her, the world ends. Do you hear me? What did the world ever do to you to deserve this? Your nightmare is our dream. Whatever world would condemn star-crossed lovers like us to a cycle of violence and despair isn't a world worth saving. We'll weave something new together. Something better. You and the princess hesitate at the cabin door. This is your last chance. We've already made our decision.
We're finally leaving here together, aren't we? And all we had to do was trust each other. It wasn't easy, but I'm glad we finally could.
Hands clasped, the two of you open the door and step out into a new day, you irredeemable murderers.
What do we do now? Where's everything going? Why is it so cold?
As you step into the thorns covering the basement stairs, they yield. Both you and the... She smiles, her hand slipping into yours, and the two of you rush to the basement stairs. You should have kissed her, you fool! It was the perfect moment! Shameful, really, that the same thorns that so... Oh, you scoundrel! Why? We finally gained her trust. That took a lot of work. Sorry, boys. Looks like we've got our tiebreaker. Blade safely in hand, you turn it on the princess and drive it towards her heart. But her thistled prison proves to be an impossible obstacle, its thorns digging deeper and deeper into your flesh the closer you come to striking the fatal blow. Ha! We're not going to make it. This is what we deserve. Better we trap ourselves in this eternal moment than have her blood on our hands. We still managed to get our romantic end, in a way. The tip of your blade only manages to touch her sternum before it stops moving entirely. A single drop of blood trickles down her chest as the two of you stare into each other's eyes. Come on, just push a little further. But you can't, can you?
I knew this was coming. I can't believe I ever let myself hope for better. This was always going to be us, wasn't it?